This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Fly Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InnerMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today. 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Test one, test.
All right, so you guys heard Sean, right? Because I heard you. I am not hearing myself. You guys hear Sean?
Test one, can you hear me?
Yeah, because you're coming out. I don't even hear myself. See, I'm already hearing myself here. There we go. There we go. This sounds about right here, right? You good now? You good? All right. I think there you go. There you go. All right. Beautiful. All right. Welcome aboard. Yeah, baby. It's a Friday. Hope you all are doing well. You made it to the weekend. You can relax. We're going to relax. We're going to relax by going to Caneswear on Saturday, and then we'll be at the Sports Grill on Sunday. That's how we're going to relax. Oh, I love it. I love it. Anyway, we'll be out here at Craig Zinn's, Acura Pembroke Pines, where they have got one hell of a selection, by the way. Inventory. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're going to get out here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. And if you happen to be in the area, if you're working, living in the Pembroke Pines area, Northern Dade, Southern Broward, Western Broward, come on out here, man. Say hi. Would love to meet you. Always, that's the cool thing about coming out here. Not only do I get to hang out with Larry Schlossberg and all the great guys, Pat Nasto, all the great guys out here at Craig Zinn, but I also get to see people drive off the lot with a big old smile on their face. And usually we get a few listeners to come by and say hi and hang out. So we always appreciate it. There's always like another little talk show going on, off the air when I take the breaks. Not a lot, we don't take a lot of them here on this show, unlike, let's say, what you listen to locally, or actually most of you aren't listening locally anymore. That's kind of what's been going on. But we got a bunch of things to do today. Got a bunch of people to talk to. Omar Kelly will be joining us at 10:30. Michelle Kaufman will stop by at 11:30 to talk about the dysfunction and the bipolar team called Inter Miami CF. They are bipolar, by the way. I mean, seriously. The head coach goes crazy, and he accuses the refs of cheating. Then the refs get pissed, and then now he's apologizing. It's like when I saw that article today by Michelle Kaufman that he's now apologizing to the refs for his ripping of the refs, I'm like, this is the 10-year-old kid that you send to the room and you banish him to the room because he did something stupid or something, and you're like, go to your room and you can't leave until whatever we tell you. And then the kid's crying and just telling you, I hate you. And then, the next morning it's, hi, mommy, hi, daddy, hugs and kisses, and everything's all forgotten. That kind of, it kind of reminds me of that. Anyway, so we'll talk to Michelle Kaufman about the dysfunction that is Inter Miami. Manny Navarro will stop by. Speaking of dysfunction, he is covering Manny Diaz and the Miami Hurricanes. He'll be in Chapel Hill, so we will talk to him. He's pulling into Raleigh, actually, in that hour, I think. So it's one of those deals where it'll be a rush type of thing. So we'll get him freshly landing there in Raleigh as he works his way over to Chapel Hill. You ever been there to Chapel Hill? Beautiful place, man. Beautiful place. I went up there once with a couple of friends of mine. We followed the Miami Heat in the preseason. And so they played like in Orlando and in Jacksonville and in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I think Atlanta or something. We did like all four. It was like a week where we were just traveling around following the Heat or something like that. And the game in Chapel Hill was against Michael Jordan and the Bulls. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we go, okay, it's like, okay, preseason sucks. Yeah, dude, but it's Michael Jordan in Chapel Hill against the Heat. And we're like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Let's go. And then we went obviously to the campus of North Carolina and Duke. And by the way, they are just majestic. That's all. That's the only thing I can call it, especially the Duke campus. Whatever you feel about Duke or whatever, that's fine. But the campus, oh my God, what a campus. And so we went by there, and I remember NC State, and we went to Fort Bragg. What else? There were a couple other things I think we drove around and checked out. But yeah, that was actually a cool experience to be in the Dean Dome watching Michael Jordan take on the Miami Heat. That was actually really, really cool. That was a nice experience. That's hardcore, baby. See, that's who I was before I was this. Okay, the maniac that would, me and a couple buddies, we're gonna go follow the Heat in preseason to go see Michael Jordan in Chapel Hill. That kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the kind of maniac sports fan that I've been all my life, all throughout. Before we got to this, I remember going with my wife to Buffalo to go to a playoff game between the Bills and the Dolphins. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, so we got a lot of things to talk about, obviously, today. We got the Dolphins and the Jags. is visiting North Carolina. The Panthers start off the season on a positive. It was looking a little ugly there at 4-2, right? They're like, oh, damn it. But then they stormed back, and they were able to get the winning goal in overtime. So that was good to defeat the Penguins 5-4 in overtime. Carter Verhaeghe with 2 goals, including the game winner. Ekblad had 2 Ekblasts in the game. Bob was unlucky on one of the goals and all that. So Panthers got the win. So we'll get into that a little bit. We had a little Thursday night football. The Heat last night played without any frontline players whatsoever. It was the Udonis Haslem, Max Strus, Javonta Green, right? I think is the kid's name, right? Javonta Smart, and Micah Porter show yesterday. Micah Porter, 16 points, 16 rebounds. Huh? Potter, right? Potter, that's right. Not Porter, Potter. Micah Potter, that's right. So that kid had 16 and 16. That was actually nice. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today on the program. And remember, I want to remind you, Sunday, okay? Come on down, man. We want to have a big showing. We want to have a great atmosphere. Tua's back. We got a breakfast to die for, all right, at Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. Only Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. And the doors open at 9 a.m., so come on down with friends, family members. Join us. Our pregame coverage will start off at 7:30, so you can start watching it on YouTube if you want, and then after, you can join us there live at Miami Lakes in Sports Grill, and they've got we were there on Wednesday, delicious French toast, the chicken and waddles, not waffles or waddles, the shrimp and grits, which we were going to call them Tua and grits because Tua's kind of shrimpy. So since he's short, so we got the shrimp and grits, the cornbread, the jalapeno cornbread, the maple jalapeno syrup. They'll have regular maple syrup because Wimp here can only have the regular maple syrup. The maple jalapeno honey syrup. That's right. The tough guys like this over here have the maple jalapeno honey syrup. But I mean, it's just a killer breakfast. You can have your wings and you can have your burgers if you want, and you can have a beer if you want. But if you want to have a little coffee and a great breakfast early in the morning while you're watching the Dolphins and the Jags, please, I encourage you, come on down, man. Join us this Sunday at Sports Grill in Miami Lakes, man. We need a big showing out there. So if you love our show, if you support our show, this is a great way of supporting our show by coming on down, bringing friends, family members, and come on down here, man. We want to make this. I want to see if we can make this a yearly thing now with Sports Grill. So whenever they do go to London, it seems like they go every year, or if not every other year, we do this kind of breakfast thing where we all get together. You know what I mean? So it is time to bond. Let's go. Come on out and listen. We want people that feel still good about the Dolphins. You know that they're going to give them a chance this year. So come on down, man. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Let's cheer on Tua and the boys, and let's get a victory, which is what we badly need, and we're going to get this week because they're going to win this week. I know they're going to win this week. Big week. Halloween new movie is out in Peacock and theaters. Also, Dolphins turning the page, going to Duffy's on 57th Avenue. I'm going to Sports Grill and Bird Road for sure against the Jets game. All right, appreciate you. Although you should still come to Sports Grill in Miami Lakes this Sunday. That's where you should go. All right, that's where we need you. Come on out here, bro. Join us, Anthony. We need you at Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. All right, this is a call to arms for everybody out there to get on down there to Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. So please come on down and join us, man. I'll be up at 4:19 on Sunday to tune into the pregame and a bowl, NorCal says. Thank you, NorCal. Appreciate you, my brother. That is a strong on your part, by the way. Yeah. 4:19. Well, it takes them 60 seconds to get ready for 4:20. So that's kind of makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? So, it takes him probably about a minute to pack the bowl. He gets up, he packs the bowl, and then he lights it up, and it's 4:20. So I kind of understand that. Big O, help me, bro. I'm feeling a little queasy about the Finns game, my brother. Tua or no Tua, please. Give me some confidence. And that's Ian from Brooklyn. Listen, man, I think they know that the season's pretty much on the brink already. Coaching staff has to know that they have got to get the results at this point in time. And they have to know that this would be the ultimate embarrassment if you lose to the Jags. And you've been an embarrassment all year long so far. You're one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. You got to turn this around now at this point. And I think Tua is going to come back where I think he wants to shut people down. I think he wants to shut them up. I think he wants people to, I think he's going to be motivated to kind of go out there and perform at a high level and try to overcome even the adversities around him. You know what I mean? And I know he can only do so much. If the line doesn't block, it's going to be a pain in the ass for him. But if they do what they did last week and they're going up against a lesser team this week in Tampa, he should have time. He should be able to. And that's the other positive that I find of this. I don't fear the Jags defense to the point that the offensive line is going to be under duress and going to be stressed out and they're going to be failing all over the place. They did a half-decent job last week. They can build on this, man. So Tua should have more time this week to throw than he's had so far in the first year and change that he's played. I really feel that the Dolphins are going to win this week. I really do. I'm not telling you that they're going to blow them up by 30 points or anything like that, but I think the Dolphins are going to win by 7 or 10 points in this game. I think some of the things are going to fall into place this week. I'm not telling you they're going to go out there and play a great game because you don't go from playing completely shitty to them becoming a great team. That doesn't happen. But you're not playing a great team. You're not playing the Bills. You're not even playing the Raiders. You're not playing the Bucks. You're playing a much lesser team. So the task cannot be as hard as it's been against some of those other teams. So I really feel like the Dolphins are going to get it done this week. I really, really do, man. I don't even want to think about what would happen if they don't, because all hell will break loose. But I really feel like they know. They've come to the end of the road already now. They've got to respond. There's no more time. There's no more waiting. There's no more excuses. There's no more. People are tired of the mistakes. They're tired of the bad play. You got to find a way to be, consistent this week, at least consistent enough to pull out a victory. Listen, this isn't about style points. I'm not here to measure them on style points. Just get the win. That's how you start to get back on track. You get the win, you build a little confidence, and now you go to against Atlanta, and you got another shot at picking up another victory, and now you can kind of set yourself up. And I know then the Bills come, and that's a whole different monster, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's enjoy Sunday at Sports Grill with some great breakfast and hopefully a win by the Miami Dolphins. That's what we need. Losing to the Jags would be the absolute worst. It would be. It would be. Special grilled wings and French toast for breakfast. That's a win. Teriyaki is a sleeper. There you go. Well, get your ass down here and have some French toast and wings. All right, let's go, Anthony. Let's come on down to Miami Lakes, bro. That's if you're going to be in the Miami area, what's another 15 minutes? There's no traffic in the morning. Come on out, bro. Good morning, Tua, I trust. I think he can lead the team. I hope we'll see a better game plan by whoever is the OC this week. Let Tua cook and have him build his confidence. By the way, we got to stop with that. Godsey's been the OC the entire time. Okay, the bottom line is they wanted Godsey to talk to him straight, and they didn't. I'm telling you, Fry opening his mouth and talking to Trent and probably not telling him the whole story and just talking about the whole thing about talking to Tua, Trent probably assumed that it was him, and then that put his friend in a bad light, and that's when Flo said, yo, why are you talking about it? Why are you telling Trent Dilfer? Why, And so that's where I think I think they punished him. I really do. Godsey's been making the calls the entire time. So we got to stop with that because it doesn't make you sound smart as a fan. Okay? Now, if you just want to pick on the dysfunction of all of it, go ahead if that's what you want to do. That's fine. I got no problem with that because obviously there was some dysfunction involved in it. But Godsey was making the calls the entire time. Nobody else. So we got to stop with that. Big O, what's your thought on Preston Williams back on the injury report? To me, if he doesn't play or doesn't play the Jaguars game entirely, I'm moving off from time to time to stop with project players. I did not see Preston Williams. He practiced yesterday. So I don't know what happened today that he ended up on it. I didn't notice that, my friend. So I don't know about that. I got to look it up to see if that's true. Listen, I'm not going to react on the list, but if he doesn't play, then yeah, it starts to become, you know, incredibly bothersome because I mean that catch he made last week on the sidelines, that was an awesome catch. I'm a big Preston Williams guy, but I do run out of patience with players that cannot stay healthy. That I will tell you. So I don't know about Preston here. I'm looking right now to see if I see anything on Preston Williams being on the injured list. Let me see here. So let's see. It looks like at least listen. At least Tua hasn't had any setbacks, and he's practicing. But I don't see anything here. I'll look it up on Preston, but I won't worry so much about it unless he misses the game. And if he's missing the game, then yeah, you know, I kind of get. I'm gonna get there with you already. Like enough's enough already. You can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? Then you are an injury problem now at this point, if that's the case. See, I'm not seeing it here right now, but I'm not saying that you're not right. You might be right on all of this. I know Parker's on the injured list, but that's nothing out of the ordinary. Omar tweeted it. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, limited doesn't mean anything. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay, now due to a growing injury, is that what it says? Okay, if that's what it is, then that's different. If it's just limited, then that's bullshit. It's nothing. Okay. All right, so if he's limited because of a growing injury, then yeah, then I'm with you now. It's a problem. Yeah. So he tweaked it during Thursday's session. That's what Sean is telling me that Omar reported. Okay. Yeah. There it is. Preston Williams surfaces on the injury report with the groin. He's limited today just when you think he's going to have a breakthrough. Yeah. What a shame, dude. What a shame. I hope he plays. I hope he's able to go out there and perform. But if he doesn't play, yeah. You know what? Go activate the other kid from the practice squad and cut his ass already. Start cutting all these dudes that are constantly injured. You know what I mean? That's all. Just they're not worth it. They're just not worth it. You know? Parker, by the way, this has got to be the end of the road for him this season. You cannot go with players that week in and week out and year out are not reliable. And if that's the case, then you got to cut loose and get him out of here, bro, and start and move on. So yeah, I'm with you. He better play this week because really it just gets to a point where the unreliable make it impossible to do your job, and that's anything in life. Anything. I can't do this show if I can't be on every day. Like there's a bunch of you that are coming here at 10 a.m. every day. And so if I show up one day and then I don't show up another day and then I show up for 2 days, then I don't show up for 3 days, and then, there's no way you're going to build an audience. There's no way that people are going to be able to be reliable, right? If Sean is like constantly oversleeping or whatever, I can't work like that. So yeah, unreliable is something that doesn't help us in any walk of life. And if you're the coach, if you're the quarterback, I'm sorry, you can't be dealing with players that constantly are dealing with the injury list. You give them an opportunity, and they have already. Parker's had several for many years now. Preston now is going into his third year, and he can't stay in. And they handled him with kid gloves. It's not like they rushed him back this time around. They gave him time. They didn't really wear him down or anything like that. And if he can't stay healthy, then see ya. See ya. Yeah, I didn't see that. I missed that. What a shame. What a shame. Because he's got a lot of skills, man. That catch he made on the sidelines this past week, that was a nasty catch, dude. That was awesome. But you just can't keep teasing people and then your body can't hold up. I guess Gronk sucks as a playmaker, as a player, because he's constantly hurt. The injury debate makes no sense. Boogie, really, seriously, dude. What? Do me a favor, Boogie. Do me a favor. Shut it down for the day, bro. Leave the channel for me. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, please. You just compared a Hall of Famer to a street free agent. Seriously. You know what I mean? Either apologize or just leave, bro. You know what I mean? Because, like, really, you won't really last that long here with stupid-ass statements like that. There's a huge difference with a guy that's been a dominant force. That, okay, now, if he's got a couple of injuries, you deal with it. Because he's a dominant force. I don't think we've ever said that about Devontae Parker or Preston Williams. You know what I mean? So, like, really, seriously. Or either that or what are you drinking this morning? 1024? You gassed up there, buddy? You sauced up? My man just compared a first ballot Hall of Famer to Preston Williams. Wow. Holy moly. Oh, you should be in London. That would have been fun. Big O, if the locker room hasn't already quit on Flores with the loss to the Jags, do it. Well, Brandon, if they lose to the Jags, then he's lost the locker room. Yeah, he lost the locker room. That's the problem about a loss to the Jags. Because if they're not responding to you versus the Jags, that's bad, dude. That's bad. I don't think he's lost the locker room. But I could be wrong, and I'll be proven wrong if they don't show up on Sunday. I still can't get over the fact that this dude compared Gronk to Preston Williams. Like, wow. That, my friends, that's extreme right there. That's a person that you say no to drugs. Never compared them, Big O, but my apologies. You did compare them. You said, I guess Gronk sucks as a player because he's constantly hurt. The injury debate makes no sense. You just compared him. You're like the dude that gets recorded, and it comes out in the audio. You know, I don't know, something crazy. The president is a terrorist. And then they come say, oh, he said the president was a terrorist. And they come, no, I was they were misconstrued. You guys didn't understand what I was saying. Then they replay it. The president is a terrorist. Well, you know, I didn't mean that. I meant like he's really aggressive. Now you're backtracking like a good corner. Not named Xavier Howard. Big O, God bless. Great show in 305. Can't believe we activated Isaiah Ford, not Captain Kirk, who was great in special teams and receiving. I don't think this offensive crew knew we had him in preseason. You're talking about Kirk Merritt. I think it's all about experience, dude. That's all it is. There must be something about Merritt still. He must be making mistakes in practice still. He must not be sharp as a tack in class or something like that. There has to be something why they're not activating him. Now, where you, sir, could be 1,000% right. It took them forever to move Austin Jackson in a guard. You know what I mean? Last week, they finally started passing to Gaskins. How many times have I been talking about throughout the first month of the season about using Gaskins and Ahmed as receivers? So there are things that when we watch, they take forever to do. They're slow at reacting and making changes. So you could be right. Maybe Kirk Merritt is the better, option instead of Isaiah Ford. I don't know. But the only thing I can guess is that he must not be killing it in practice and in the classroom. But yet, when we watched them in games, kid played well. They all need to go. This receiver crew's been doing this since Parker's been here. Preston Williams just brings our draft picks kick ass, but this staff don't know how to scout call plays. I mean, right now you can pick on the Dolphins for everything. Because right now they're not getting anything right. They're not winning, they're not defending. They're not playing well on offense at all. They're not playing well at the quarterback position. They're not playing well on the offensive line. Draft picks aren't looking good. There's a lot of things you can say about the Dolphins right now, and none of us can argue or defend it at this point in time. This is what happens when you're 1-4 and you get your ass kicked severely several times in the first 5 games, and you look incompetent. And especially Flo last week, he looked lost, man. To me, that was the most disturbing thing, that I don't think I really saw Flo look as lost as he has in the past. I mean, as he looked lost now like he's never looked so far since he's been here. He usually looked under control. And now it looks like he doesn't have the same answers. And, I'm looking at myself on the camera. Like, my bags are still bad, but they're not as bad as they normally are. Is that true? No? Yes? Like, it's hard to get rid of my bags. But the bags are actually not that bad compared to, because usually they're really bad. Normally. I wonder if that CBD stuff is now helping me with my bags, which is kind of weird, because I am sleeping deeper. That's the good part about that CBD that I'm taking. That when I fall asleep for a couple hours, it's a lot deeper sleep. So I'm wondering, are my bags normally as bad as they normally are, or are they slightly better today? Or, you know what it could be also? Could be that I'm not in the studio with brighter light, so the brighter light really brings out how bad my bags are. So maybe now that it's a little darker, it's kind of hiding how bad my bags are. Maybe that's what it is. Yes, you look good, buddy. No, don't lie now. All right, I never look good. Okay, you're being Dwayne. You're just being too nice, bro. And I love you for that, bro. Thank you for being nice. Look good is that's an extreme. I'm just asking, do my bags just look only terrible today? Not ultra terrible, not horrific. They say better, slightly better. Studio light is not a good look. I mean, what is a good look? What lighting is going to save this face? I mean, seriously. Get a plant-based diet, Big O. You'll get healthier. You can't do that, right? Sean's like, nah, that plant-based stuff, no, that's not going for me. Ice them at night is what I'm told. Juan Castillo says, I noticed without you mentioning it, looks much better today. Hemorrhoid cream under your eyes will help a lot, no joke. Actually, I heard that that's actually not good for you. Okay? I heard it. Read up on that. It's actually not a good thing to put the hemorrhoid cream under your eyes. There's talk he's struggling with the playbook, Omar on Preston. Yeah, I read that too. Yeah, but I don't care about the struggle of the playbook. I care about injuries. That's who cares if he learns the playbook and he's got a groin injury? You know what I mean? So for me, I get it. There's a new playbook. I don't know how much more different it is. It's probably more about the play calls that he's kind of, having to adjust to than anything else, than the names of the new plays and all that kind of stuff. But I worry more about Preston with injuries, because the injuries are what's going to stop him from actually being a good player, because he can play. I don't care what anybody tells me. That kid's got the skills to be a stud at this level. I truly believe that. But you can't go anywhere if you can't be reliable. Let's see. There's no plant-based wings at Sports Grill. No, but they do have a plant-based burger, I believe. I think I saw it on the menu. Now that I think about it, hey, let's see here. Am I right? They have. I'm pretty sure they have. Yes, They have a veggie burger. They have the Impossible Burger, and there you go. So you've got those. They've got the regular burger, the black and blue burger, the mushroom Swiss burger. They've got the Impossible Burger, which is a green one, and they've got the veggie burger, both vegetarian options. Okay. How about that? Only I would be carrying around a Sports Grill menu. Just to remind me how delicious. I can't wait for Sunday for that breakfast. Holy moly. Big O, how realistic do you think we can get Deshaun Watson? Felix, let's wait till we actually get there. Okay? Let's wait to see if Tua doesn't play well. Let's wait to see what happens at the end of the season, and if he becomes available, if he's actually, innocent or guilty. We don't know. So I'd rather not play that hypothetical when we have no idea what's going to go on. Maybe the Dolphins go completely after Aaron Rodgers instead of Deshaun Watson. I don't know. Have no idea. So that game, we got a whole 12 games left. I want to talk about Tua playing well. I don't want to talk about another quarterback. I want to talk about Tua being the franchise quarterback for this team for a long time to come. That's what I want after the next 12 games. I want him to play in a way that it convinces everybody that, okay, he's not the problem. What you got to do is fix what's around him. You fix what's around him, the team will be all right. That's what I'm hoping for, man. And I know a lot of you have moved on and you want to fire everybody and you want to, get rid of the quarterback and you want to trade for Watson or Aaron Rodgers or whatever. I get it, but I'm not ready to move on from this season. I'm not telling you that the playoffs are in the cards. I'm not telling you that they're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but there is still things to work on this year that could make me feel better about the future. I get it, man. These 5 games have been just torturous. And I don't blame any of you all out there for feeling the frustrations, the anger that you have out there, whatever adjective you want to use to describe, your feelings right now. I completely understand it. But I'm not going to do this for the next 12 games that I'm already moving on, and I'm talking about the draft and trades when I don't know what the hell is going to happen in the next 12 games, and I don't know what's going to go on in the offseason. And I have no idea if some video surfaces of Deshaun Watson doing something. Nobody expected John Gruden to get fired from the Raiders because he was a vile and disgusting human being. And look what ends up happening. So anybody, can get burned in all of this. And I don't know. And Deshaun Watson clearly isn't the brightest bulb in the chandelier. So I would not be surprised if he did something else stupid that ends up coming, to the forefront. Why have complicated defense and offense when the players can learn it and the opponents figure it out easy? I think it's built-in excuses for coaches. I don't believe any of that stuff, dude. I don't believe their offense is that complicated. I don't believe it's that difficult for the players to learn it. And by the way, if the players can't learn it, then you did a shitty job of scouting and you drafted a bunch of dumbasses. And if they can't learn it, well, then you're a terrible coach. How about that? That's what I'm going to go with. I don't want to hear the excuses of a new offense and all that. Oh, get the hell out of here, man. I don't want to hear anything about that. I get it if it's a rookie trying to learn an offense. But a veteran player already and you change the offense, you tweaked it, it isn't that much different. They can learn it. It's more about terminology that changes. And if you can't learn it, then you're too damn lazy. You got one job. Learn the stinking playbook. And if you can't, well, then you should have drafted smarter players. Or you should have hired better teachers. The rest, I'm not going for any of that stuff. Tua should know the playbook now. At this point, he had the entire offseason. He threw to his guys. He had the mini camp, the training camp, and that hasn't been the issue right now. So if anybody's struggling with the playbook, including Preston, well, then maybe that's another reason why you fell out of the draft also. Not only did you have issues, but maybe also people didn't think you were a great student of the game. And then, again, draft smarter players. That's all. Don't tell me a guy can't learn the offense. If you can't learn the offense, then that's your fault. One way or the other, it's your fault. You didn't scout well, or you're not a good teacher. Let's assume Tua isn't the problem. What weaknesses would be the first you address as the new GM? I hate that we can't stop the run. Ray, has the season ended, bro? I think I just said, for these hypothetical things, what if in the next 12 games, the O-line, 3 of the guys start looking really good? Because they're young. You don't know when they're going to develop, just like you don't know when the end of a player's career is coming. It could happen from 1 week to another, from 1 month to another, from one season to another. You don't know. It could be that 9th season. It could be that 12th season. It could be the 15th season. What happens if the defense all of a sudden now, light goes on for Jalen Phillips and he starts playing well, and Javon Holland's balling out and the 2 corners start playing well all of a sudden, and Agba starts picking up sacks and the defense looks better? Well, then all of a sudden, some things don't become that desperate. I can't make any assessments on this team after 5 games. I've got to wait for the 17 games to play out. So then we can finally make an assessment on what you need and what you don't need. I get it, man. There's not a lot to talk about in a Dolphins-Jags game. It's really all about win the effing game. And I get it. Some of you have quit on this season already. So the only thing that you want to talk about is, are we getting Deshaun Watson? Are we going to get Aaron Rodgers? Who are we going to fire? You've already moved on. I'm not there. I'm not firing anybody. I'm pissed off like you are. I want to see them win, but I have not turned the page on this season. And I don't have all the information. So I don't know who by the end of the season, who I'm convinced can play and who can't. And then I'll find out at the end of the season who's available in free agency and who isn't. And I'll find out, hopefully I'll know more if Deshaun Watson's innocent or guilty. And I'll find out more if Aaron Rodgers is finally leaving or not. Or did he have a renaissance this season because he finished the season strong, went to the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden everybody's buddy-buddy, and he says, you know what, I'll give it one more year. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going to happen by the end of the year. And to try to figure things out now, it's a waste of time. It's another hypothetical, crappy ass subject to tackle that has no substance whatsoever. We're going to talk about a bunch of crap that means nothing because we have no actual real information. Everything's being assumed. Who's good, who's bad, who's available, who you trade for, what you trade for, who's here, who's not, all of that. Good morning, Big O. Great game last night for the Cats. Duclair's aggression on the offensive zone, some unfortunate goals on Bobrovsky, but overall happy on the team's performance. Andres Orozco. I'm with you, man. Look, the Penguins are a good team. They've got their own firepower. They're a scary team at times. So I wasn't surprised, that what happened last night. But what I really liked, and I know it wasn't a packed arena yet, but one of the things that the Panthers are going through right now is convincing the public that they're for real. And I've seen it with whether it's the Strikers or Inter Miami, the moments where you have a big game, a big moment. I've seen it with Miami FC too. And you get a lot of people at the stadium or the arena and you lose that game. And you lose the opportunity to sell to the crowd that you're for real. And so while those of us that follow the Panthers hardcore, we know they're pretty damn good. We know that they're a goalie away from actually challenging Tampa for the division and for a title, that they can win the Stanley Cup in that process. But most of South Florida doesn't know that. Most of South Florida doesn't care about the Panthers. They've got to make them care, like they did in the mid-'90s. And the win last night is one of those moments, one of those building blocks. And they've got to get there because the Panthers, every time they've been in a moment, they have failed over the last 20 years. Now they've got to stop failing in those moments. I know because these fringe type of, these type of sports that are more, what's that word that I want to use, that it's not mainstream, it's more niche. Thank you, niche. More of a niche sport. That's what soccer is in this town. That's what hockey is. That's what baseball is. They're niche. You're not going to get people on board right away. So the only way to get them on board is to sell them entertainment. And in the mid-'90s, they were winning. There was the Rats. There was all that stuff going on. It was fun. It was interactive. People got on board. Panthers have got to cross that threshold. Last night was a very important step in crossing that threshold because people watching on television may have thought of going. Down 4-2, they're going, yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't go. Winning 5-4 in overtime, going, damn, I should have been there. So you've got to have more of those moments. And as you pile them on, you win people over. Ray Hudson and Doug Hamilton, rest in peace, did that with the Fusion back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they captured everybody's imagination. They brought in entertainment. They scored. They won. They didn't win a title, but they got to the Western Conference Finals, which I know it always sounds weird. But those 2 years, they went from 4,000 to 7,000 the first year of Hudson to 11,000, and we probably would have gone to 14,000, 15,000 the following year. Why? Because they were building it up. And in the big moments, they were coming through. I've watched the Miami FC have those big moments and fail. I've watched the Strikers have those big moments and fail. I've watched the Panthers have those big moments Big team comes into town. They're on a streak, ready to go. Show them. Boom. You look terrible. And then people say, same old Panthers. And that's what's got to change. People still don't believe in the Panthers. And until Knight or Bobrovsky step up, you're not going to win the people over. You've got to go out there and do something special that grabs their attention. Yesterday was a start. That's the key for them. We're waiting Omar Kelly. What's the deal with Omar? What's the word with Omar? We gotta get Omar Kelly here. All right. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important. I haven't quit on that. I'm rooting for Tua and for him to do good. Just sucks that everything around him is so inconsistent. It'll be hard to give him a fair evaluation. If he can work some under chaos, I think it'll be a good evaluation overall. Dougie Fresh says, another menu idea for Sunday. You complain about food before you eat and tell the chef how to cook it when you can't even boil water. Fin fan sucky trash. Succotash. Tua should kick Jesse Davis out of the huddle if he doesn't trust him and point to the offensive lineman he wants during the game. Big O saw a report on CNBC that crypto EFTs may get green light to start trading next week. Option for those who are risking adverse to invest directly in crypto. Exactly. And the Bitcoin EFTs are starting too. SEC is allowing that. I just laugh because, I laugh at the people like, crypto's a farce. It's a scam. It's not real. And, it's just, I get it. I get those people. You're too lazy. You're too intimidated. You don't know anything about it. And since you don't know anything about it, let me just rip it and sound really stupid. And that's fine. I mean, if you want to sound really stupid, then go ahead and sound really stupid. But I keep telling you, crypto's going to change the world. It's going to dominate. Our financial landscape will be driven by crypto. Everything you do will be digitally based when it's all said and done. It's where we're going. It's where we are already, actually. This is just a way of doing it at another level, at another scale, and a more protective scale too, because of the blockchain. Whatever, it's fine. I mean, I try to explain to the average person that asks me about it, and when they hear like bad news or things about the government or the SEC going after crypto, and it's like, you don't get it, man. These financial institutions, these bulls, the people in the government, they want you to stay stupid. They don't want you to get woke. They want you to be afraid and intimidated. They want you to get so scared to sell your crypto so they can go and hop in and buy it at a cheaper price. And that way, when retail, which is you and I, gets back in it, you're now buying Bitcoin at $130,000 because they scared you away when you bought it at 35 and 45 and 55. And you got scared on some consolidation or dip or whatever. Why? Because you didn't do your homework. Yeah. We'll get Omar at 11 a.m., by the way, I'm told. So we're good. But, what can I tell you? I've done my best to tell you all, educate you all about it. I'm not a financial advisor, you know what I mean? But I know that we're all going to be better off if you do the right investing in crypto. Big O, any reason Miami always places its linebackers on the line instead of protecting the area in between the line and the safeties. It's also pathetic watching Baker lock onto blocks. Yeah. Look, dude, I can't explain anything that the defense is doing right now. I can't explain X's lazy play at corner. You know? So there's a lot of things I can't explain. Why the linebackers aren't playing well, why they aren't pressuring the quarterback enough, why the expensive secondary is underachieving badly. And speaking of Jerome, he right now is nothing like the player that we saw last year. That dude last year was a werewolf. I don't see the werewolf anymore. Is Omar in England? Allen is doing better. Omar is not in England. I think we only have Joe Shad there. That's it. Out of our group. I don't know about anybody else, but I know Joe Shad is there. That's for sure. We will get Omar at 11 o'clock, by the way. How's that? 11-ish. Okay. All right. So we'll get him. It's all good, bro. I got no problem. Omar he's got stuff to do. I understand. Nothing but love for my man Omar. We'll get him on and we'll have our conversation like we do every week. It's all good. Muffy 313 says, if we lose to the Jags, to a team that lost 20 in a row, Big O, I guarantee someone's getting clipped. It's just the way the business is. Ask Tony Sperano. Hey, you know what, Muffy? I don't think someone's going to get fired this year, but that doesn't mean I'm right. You could be 1,000% right, my friend. The owner could get so pissed after losing to the Jags and to losing to Stanky Fingers Meyer that, yeah, definitely. It could happen. Not a problem. You're right. I can't say, oh no, you're Muffy. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. There's no way. You're crazy. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You might be right. Even though I don't think it could happen, but you might be right, dude. Do the defensive coaches even install blitz packages? Shaking my head. Please stop playing soft zone for the love of God. I can't answer any of that, my brother. The defense is playing like crap. That's all I can tell you. Baker's also missing most of the tackles on the team. No, Baker's been playing terrible. Why should Omar go to England? Dolphin coaches never answered direct questions. Very evasive, like the president of the United States. You mean like every president of the United States? I get it. You're only picking on one side because you're on the other side. The guy that was there before him also didn't answer questions. All he did was insult somebody when they asked him a tough question. Oh, that's a terrible question. You're a terrible human being. That was his line. This guy just avoids it. But it's all right, Richard. I'm objective. I rip Dems and reps. You only rip Dems, but that's all right. I get it. I can already tell by the comment. Instead of saying, like every president of the United States, you just did this one. That's all right, bro. I see through it all. I remember when they were talking about the internet and startups. Now all those guys are millionaires. Bitcoin, ground floor. William, it's the same thing, dude. It's the dudes that were saying, oh, those Wright brothers will never fly that plane. Oh, God, a phone, please. A cell phone, please. The internet, please. It's the same thing. It's stuff that has happened throughout time. And you always had a large group of individuals that were just always in denial. And it's the same thing with crypto. They don't know about it. They don't understand. 95% of the world has no idea about crypto. Not 95% of the world they've heard of Bitcoin in that 95%, but they don't even know anything what Bitcoin stands for. I had some idiot on Twitter the other day. Listen to this. I mean, for those of you that follow crypto, he goes to me, "Oh, you talk so much about crypto, dude. I got Doge. What's the difference between Doge and Ethereum?" Like, if I have to explain to you the difference between the two, then this is what's wrong in our world. You got a guy just throwing his money away at Doge, and I get it. Hey, it hit, and you got a chance to make some money, and it's amazing. But if you really know what you're talking about, it has zero technology behind it. It has zero functionality behind it. It has nothing behind it. It's a big hot air balloon. But, there's a lot of people that don't know about Doge, don't know about crypto, i.e. Preston Williams, by the way. That he's a perfect example of someone that plays he plays. I invest in the crypto market. Preston Williams plays crypto. You know what? I just created a thing now. Those of you that don't know jack about crypto and you just buy to buy because somebody else tells you, you're playing crypto. Those of us that actually really study it and read up on it, we actually invest in crypto. That's the difference. All those Doge people, pretty much, the ones that are hardcore, they're just playing crypto. Because they don't understand it. And most of the world doesn't understand it. And that's the way financial institutions and the bulls and a lot of people in government, they want to keep you that way. They want to keep you stupid. They don't want you woke. They don't want you understanding crypto. They don't want you understanding DeFi. They don't want you understanding that is going to be the way you are going to access financial freedom. They don't want you to know that that's a way where you're going to spend a lot less money when you actually borrow money. They don't want you to know that because they want to be the ones that put themselves in control, so you're borrowing off of them once again. Okay? Because those of us that are in crypto right now, we have our coins working two ways if we're smart. And that's what I taught you yesterday on OKCoin. You buy the coin, and then if you buy the right coin, it's going to go up in value. So it's working for you one way. The other way is you stake the coin, and then they're using they're using that coin, and they're borrowing on that coin. And the interest they're gaining on that coin, you're getting it back. So you have it working two ways. But a lot of people don't understand any of this kind of stuff. And they don't want to understand it. They don't want to take the time. They're intimidated. But if they took the time, they would understand that they're going to empower themselves. By the way, I want you to see, there's a senator, I forgot her name now. Man, she was awesome yesterday, Sean. She ripped into the government. She's pro crypto, right? And she's like, for some of you out there that think that the crypto is bad, crypto is the savior for the world. It's a savior from people like us, that we have mismanaged everybody's money for so long as a government, and that they don't trust us, that this is going to allow people to control their destiny a lot more. And she was great. Because she understands crypto. She was honest enough to talk about what screw ups they've been with our money, with our taxes. You know what I mean? So it's and that's why this whole thing, I wish a lot of you would take the time to really do your homework and really look at what's going on. And I know a lot of you would end up finding a much better place in life down the line financially as this thing grows. Because the one thing that people don't realize, most people, is that crypto is in its infancy stages. It's still a baby, not an embryo, but it's a baby. And you got an opportunity of taking advantage. All right, let's take a really quick break here. Give me 2 minutes. Omar Kelly will join us on the other side with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Friday. Yes, sir. We are back. Hour number 2. We promised you the man, the myth, the legend that is Omar Kelly in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Oh, how you doing, my friend? You looking good?
I am good. Sorry for my tardiness. Was running errands and lost track of time. You know how that is.
We're digital, baby. That's the beauty of digital, man. You know, it's flexibility. It's, you know, I always tell Ira, he always tells me, well, hey, listen, I got a conflict. I got to fly, this, that. Ira, relax, dude. It's digital. We don't have to be at a specific time. It's fine. People will get to it. It's on demand. Don't worry about it, dude. It's all good. You know what I mean? That's what I love about it. There's, you know, I'm trying to put something together here where we have no stress. You know?
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had any stress with me yet? Any?
No, not at all.
Exactly. And so it's a beautiful. We even pay a lot faster than all the people you've worked for. Correct?
That is correct.
That is correct, right? Correct, Sean? Correct? Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that we know that because, you know, we've worked at places that even steal your money at times.
Yeah.
Not in your case, but Sean and I have experienced it at times. But anyway, all right, let's get into this. So it's official. Nothing surprising to when you've been out there. Have you noticed any limitations?
Yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not gonna say that I've seen everything.
Right, of course.
He's very restricted in his movement, which to me is not necessarily a good sign. You're going to be out there with a 70% quarterback.
Okay.
It is what it is.
All right.
Either way, because Jacoby Brissett is limited right now too because of the hamstring injury. And I can tell you, the practice I saw this week, he might have thrown 1/3 the passes that Tua's thrown, and this is warm-up stuff, so it's not like first team, second team, no. So it's a little concerning. I'm concerned.
So they'll have all three active, is what you're telling me.
I think so. I think so.
Right?
I think so. Maybe. Yeah. I think so. I think this might be an all three active day.
Omar, it would be from what you're telling me, it would be incredibly stupid not to have the third quarterback active. So the starter's 70 in your eyes, the backup's dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, There's no way, dude. You have to.
You would have to make a spot on the roster for him, and I haven't done the roster configurations in terms of practice squads, in terms of scout team contributions, but or what you need on the defensive line or where the other injuries are. But I think you can make a room for him. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Reed Sinnett, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to overall. I did not catch this. One of the listeners brought it up to me. I didn't realize that you had posted this. Preston coming up with a growing injury. That's very disappointing, man. I don't want to see any more injuries with this kid. I need him to move on from all this crap.
You and me both. I wrote a column. Basically, you would only live on talent, promise, and potential for so long before everybody's like, and he's talented. He's super talented. The one common thread that you've heard about Preston throughout the years is that, he struggles to learn the playbook, and it takes him a minute to learn the playbook. It takes him a minute to know his assignments and know the hot routes and know the reads and get on the same page with the quarterback. And then it was kind of disappointing to hear George Godsey basically complain about that this week. And, but in fairness to Preston, this is his third offense in 3 years.
Right.
That's on you. That's that's on you as a coaching staff.
Yes.
You fucked up. And Flo got to own that. Flo got to eat that.
No, I'm listen, dude. If your players can't learn the playbook, then you didn't draft smarter players. You need to draft players. Or
that's not fair. That's not fair.
Or wait a minute. It's either or. It's either that or you got to be better teachers. It's one of the two.
That's not fair. With a guy like Preston, where there might be some, I'm going to be generous and say maybe I hate doing this because then people will tap. But you might be some playbook digestion issues.
Listen, dude, you can be honest. He talks about Dogecoin like it's Ethereum or Bitcoin. I can tell you he's not the brightest bulb in the chandelier already.
He's smarter than me because I don't know nothing about no Dogecoin.
Well, trust me, he doesn't know too much about crypto the way he talks about Doge. I can already tell you that as somebody that really follows crypto, he knows nothing about crypto when he thinks Doge is like the second coming. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna listen to your crypto podcast because I need to figure out this Bitcoin stuff. I gotta figure this out. Like, listen.
Whenever you want to sit down somewhere and we have a dinner somewhere and you, me, and we'll go with Eric because Eric loves Eric.
You guys were talking Bitcoin the last time we did dinner, and I'm just like,
I got him heavily into crypto, dude. He's so deep into crypto now. I'm the one that got him hooked because he understood it after I explained it to him. And that's what people, you got to understand what the hell is going on. And then you'll realize you're going to go, well, wait a minute. We've already been in this crypto world for many, many years. And yeah, dude, exactly. It's just a different avenue how we're going about it now. We've been in a digital currency forever, dude. Your credit card's in your pocket, brother. That's digital currency.
I know.
What I mean?
Hey, listen. When Cash App, I had to pay something on Cash App or somebody. Yeah, I had to pay something on Cash App. And then I scroll over and then Cash App's like, hey, buy Bitcoin. And I'm like, what? Huh?
But don't ever buy it there because you don't own it then. I'll explain that to you also. Because there you would have to buy it and sell it right there and then. Whereas if you go to the proper exchange, you can then move it to a cold wallet, cold storage, keep it away from everybody, lock it down, and you can move it to wherever you want because you own it. So that's very, very important too. Also,
I'm going to keep putting my money under my mattress.
What if I tell you the same money you put in your mattress or in your savings account, you could actually get 10% on that money with no risk whatsoever. 10%.
I'm good. Let me know. I need to learn.
Whenever you want me to show you, I'll show you, dude.
All right.
There's tons of people with their money sitting there and it's not working for them. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? You can earn 10% with that money you have sitting in the savings account. And that savings account is giving you what, like a 0.04% or something,
That is correct.
It's ridiculous, man. It is what it is. But anyway, so Preston is a kid that you know me. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he has all the potential to be one hell of a receiver.
Tons
for
of
the
potential,
team.
loads of potential. I would
I-
argue to you probably the guy with the most potential, and I put that over Jalen Waddle too. No, you know.
I see what you're saying. Physically, he is a
Preston's
Yeah,
big, fast, run
yeah.
after catch, can't stay
Yeah.
healthy.
yeah.
But
yeah.
like
Dude, that catch he made this past week on the sidelines. Aren't
that
a lot
catch,
of
not just the catch, the run after catch.
No,
That
I'm talking about the sideline one. The
Yeah,
sideline.
no, that was the first one. Then he had a 32-yard run after catch.
I know.
He's showing you he's teased this franchise for 3 years.
I know.
And
teased over
it's
3.
time for you to please him.
Yeah.
You can't just keep teasing him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I really would rather have a real crypto conversation with him just to see if he's really that crazy about Doge and doesn't really know anything.
hey, next time we talk to them, I'm gonna ask him. Give me some questions to ask him about Doge, and I'll ask him about Doge because I you know.
Okay.
I'm so bored right now, and this is between me and you, Big O. Just nobody listen. Everybody close your ears.
Nobody.
I'm so bored with the bullshit from the Zoom and the press conference shit. I miss being in the locker room and just shooting the shit with guys.
I know.
And just talking to them and getting to know them. And the funny thing is, if we do it on the podium standpoint, then the Dolphins or a TV crew takes it as like their production.
Right.
And like yesterday, we're talking to you know, Robert Hunt.
Hunt was great. He was great.
Yeah.
He's the guy I root for the most to have success because his personality is bigger than the damn building that he works at.
It's
I
just overflowing personality.
I love that guy.
And here's my thing. Guys like that can't help themselves but be who they are. They can't be watered down like this regime wants to water them down and make everybody do the Patriots thing and we're on the Jacksonville and we're not looking at last week's team and whatever. Hunt says we can't keep saying this young guy shit and keep it and keep doing it over and over again. We got to play better. Like, you know, stop telling people, be real, be yourself, be authentic, be candid. I did the just out of my head. I just did the all personality team on the Dolphins.
I saw that. Yes.
Tua is clearly on the all personality team because if you have 10 minutes in a room with him, he's going to make you a fan.
Right.
It's like he's got a mesmerizing personality.
Right.
It's like you're watching.
He's just smart enough to not let you corner him into a bad question. That's all.
No. He'll let you corner him into a bad question. Like the stuff where he admitted, and I wasn't even trying to corner him. He admitted that he didn't know and have a good enough grasp of the offense, which I thought he went overboard. He went way past where he needed to go trying to defend his wide receivers. Dude, your wide receivers sucked. Let's be real about it. Like, and he's never going to say that.
He'll never say that.
He'll never say that. But to defend his wide receivers, he literally threw himself under a bus and ran himself over 2 times.
That's the idea. That's what he's supposed to do.
But you gotta love that. Who doesn't love that?
Right. No, and if you talk to enough people behind the scenes, you know that he's actually much more colorful behind the scenes. We don't
he's authentic. He's not a fake fraud, phony. He's across the board who he portrays himself to be. There is no delineation. And I like and I respect that. Then there's Nick Needham. God damn it. Nick Needham is the big O of the Miami Dolphins. Ain't nothing has ever been given to him. He has taken everything that he owns and owns it. He owns when he fucks up. He owns when he plays well. He owns when his coach is, trying to replace him. They've tried to replace Nick Needham like 7 times.
Yeah.
He's still here, still standing, still playing well, still performing. When next year, when they got to put a tender on him, they're probably going to give him some bullshit tender. Right. And Nick Needham's going to keep on going.
Yeah.
And,
No,
like, I gotta respect that, man. Eric Rowe, and God, man, Eric Rowe's struggling this year. I would argue to you, last year he was probably a top 5 player on this team. This year, for whatever reason, maybe the safety rotation, because for some reason they think they need to play 4 safeties, which I think is just the dumbest shit ever. If I'm gonna be real with you, like you already playing like hot shit, but you need 4 different players in your back end. Then wonder why there's so many breakdowns and coverage and communication issues. Yeah, you think
Yeah.
maybe you should have kept Bobby McCain so he can throw it all together?
And the Justin Coleman thing. Oh my God, that has been
That's so. I mean, it is what it is, man. You tried to replace Nick Needham, it didn't work. Nick Needham is like a cockroach. No matter how hard you work, you exterminate the house, he's still gonna be there.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you can ask Joe Rose. They never replaced me at QAM, so yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
who is your replacement now? Yeah, actually,
There's none.
yeah.
These guys told me the listeners told me because I didn't hear it, but the listeners told me a couple of weeks ago that Joe said on the air, "Oh, you mean the guy that should still be here?" He actually even said it on the air.
Oh, really?
Which I'm sure Len Weiner was not happy about that, obviously, because Len and I did not get along whatsoever. You know what I mean? I mean, who the hell gets along with Len Weiner anyways in that building? You know? So, I mean, unless you kiss his ass, well, then, yeah, I guess whoever it is. But it ain't Joe.
I'm still owed
That's
money,
for sure.
by the way.
Huh?
I'm still owed money.
Really?
Yeah.
You're still owed money?
I'm never good at that stuff. But go ahead, continue.
Oh God. Well, I don't. You're never gonna hear that here. That's for damn sure.
Hey, the first gets here and it's deposit. I'm all good.
Yeah,
I
bro.
don't have to worry about it.
Well, no, we take care of our people here, bro. That's the idea. I've worked with enough of the bullshit. I want to make sure we create an environment where there is no bullshit. You know what I mean? I was trying to do that somewhere else also, but there's plenty of stuff that's completely out of my control. Here, it's all under our control. That's why we always talk about building this thing up. Well, and by the way, today we cross 6 million downloads, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all out there for helping us as we're downloading over 1.5 million a month now, which is way more than any show locally here. In fact, I think it's way more than 560 and 790 combined, actually. If you put all their shows together, I doubt they get 1.5 million a month. So you guys are kicking some ass out there supporting Omar and Ira and Alan and Joe Shad and Manny Navarro and Clay Ferraro and, of course, the great Sean Stanley, who puts it all together. So thank you all out there for supporting us in a big-time way. Did you pick them to win this week?
I did. However, after that selection, I became very uncomfortable because when I do my selections, I think about, do their strengths play into Miami's weaknesses and vice versa.
Okay.
And Miami has no strengths right now.
And they can run the ball.
And they can run the ball and they can protect their quarterback. Miami can't pressure the quarterback, can't stop the run.
Right.
And Xavier is not 100%, might not play. Not to say that that's going to really drastically impact the game, but losing your top player should impact the game. You don't have Devontae. Preston, who I did watch, he does look like he's impacted by the groin. I watched him, and in fact, I have a video up. No, I might not have put that video up, where Tua's throwing him a pass, and it's high, and Preston can sky and get it, and he can't get it. And I was like, Then he shows up on the injury report. So, to be honest with you, I'm not feeling real good. And I know what happens if they lose.
Oh, no, I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to talk about it, bro.
We're not going to talk about it. But you know what happens if they lose.
Well, it's exactly what you said 2 weeks ago, that we were going to get to the point of the pointing fingers and the.
We're past that. Fingers are pointing. I'm hearing.
This would be the game that would put them over the top.
Based on, it's funny that I can listen to media members talk. I can just listen to media members talk. Mm-hmm. And I can tell, because I've been here long enough, who's in their ear. And That's because and I can tell who's feeding who. Now, I can just listen and I can hear exactly who is feeding who. And that's when it's already happening. It's already started. It's and I say this, we did this on X's and Omar with Dave Hyde this week. If you haven't listened to it, definitely check it out on the podcast.
Always a must listen.
Listen, we have seen so many teams quit on so many coaches. We have seen so many regimes start this finger point. It's like history just keeps repeating itself every 4 years. Yeah. And you just start to realize and recognize it. It's like we're on a never-ending loop and cycle, and the same crap, different people, same crap always happening.
This is the game that I think Eagles have traded Zach Ertz to the Arizona Cardinals. Wow. Okay. Well, if you watched them last night, the Eagles aren't very good.
Yes, and they got Dallas Goedert, who the Miami Dolphins should have instead of Mike Gesicki. And, they got to worry about trying to pay Dallas Goedert because he's a real tight end and would address a lot of your issues.
Yeah, and plus, after last night, you saw that Hurts is a beautiful young man. He is just a great human being. Anybody that has watched how he carried himself, he is a pro's pro the way he carries himself, but he's not a passer. And that's unless he can become one. I don't know, bro.
I didn't watch that game at all, so I would have no knowledge of what you speak. But they have 3 first-round picks. Huh?
You did yourself a favor.
Well, I would like to see Brady.
Yeah.
I just had so
Philly did come back to make it a game at least. I do give them credit. They did come back and made it a bit of a game at least. But he's not the guy, unfortunately. But back to what you were saying, I'm not there yet with you, but I think that this is the game that if you lose this game, it's all hell breaks loose. And I think even the owner freaks out now all of a sudden because
you don't think the owner's already freaking out?
I think he's already freaking out, but
I
think
you
this
traded away your first-round pick because you believe that it was going to be better than the 49ers first-round pick.
Right. Yes.
You don't think the owner's freaking out?
No, I totally agree with you that I think the owner is freaking out a little bit, but I think he'll completely lose it if he lose this game because then there is really no hope for the rest of the season at this point when you do that.
There is. I've calculated it.
Oh, God.
I have calculated it. Come on, playoffs. Come on, it's done.
No, forget playoffs. I'm talking about a respectable season.
No, you can technically lose this game and have a respectable season if you beat the Falcons and start winning. So the Falcons is my line of delineation. This game, if you lose it, it's panic time. It's Flo is going to throw everything against the wall to see what sticks because clearly his shit ain't working. Flo's going to change the whole practice schedule. Flo is going to do everything possible to try to stop the bleeding. But at some point, you're on the table and the bleeding keeps going. We're going to flatline. And that's Falcons game.
All right. So, and we'll wrap it up with this. Omar Kelly, EJDconstruction.com, Miami Dolphins report. If they happen to lose, I don't think it'll happen, but somebody brought it up. Does somebody get fired if they lose to the Jags?
I think somebody gets fired. I don't know who, and probably an assistant coach. So you got to fire somebody. If I'm Ross, I want a body. And I said this on X's and Omar. You lose to the Jaguars, I need a body. I don't care whose body. It don't matter, but I must offer a sacrifice to the fans. And truthfully speaking, I think they're very close to that point. And you gotta, You know, why haven't you called the retired New England Patriots offensive line coach and said
Scarnecchia, I think, is really retired, dude. Like really, really retired.
$1 million for 6 months worth of work could get you out of retirement real quick, right?
Yeah, but they pulled him out already once, and he's old. He's up there, dude. He's up
Okay,
there.
come here as a consultant for $400,000.
I mean, Omar, I can't answer that question because I don't know.
You act like Ross.
Done.
Money is not a problem for Ross.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It has nothing to do with money. I'm talking about that man. I think he has, he has worked so long in his life. I think he's kind of done already. They had to talk him back out of retirement the last time in his last go around. You would have to do it a second time. And I don't know if he's going to do it for the Dolphins after all those years with the Patriots and being so loyal to Belichick. And
how about I give you a consultant job and a role in the scouting department?
I'm not arguing with you, my brother.
We're negotiating here. We're negotiating.
I would love to have him there.
Here is the point I'm making.
I get it.
There is no limit to Ross's spending.
I get it. I totally get it, dude. I all that I can't argue with you. I just think the man will turn it all down. It just
everything is negotiable.
No, you're right. You're right. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but I just kind of get the feeling that Scarnecchia. Can you find out what Dante Scarnecchia's age is? Because it's got to be either high 60s, low 70s at this point in time.
If you're scared of COVID, I get it. But hey, you don't have to travel for road games. What do you need? Like, at this point, what do you need to come work with me?
He's 73.
And fix my line. My dad's 73, man. Like, he's still kicking, even though he retired because of COVID.
Yeah.
But, for the right amount of money, my dad will come and wire your house for the right amount of money.
Yeah, but your dad doesn't have the kind of money sitting in the bank that Dante Scarnecchia.
There's never enough money, Big O. There's never enough money. If you're Ross, what do you need? Do you need a condo in the W Hotel? What do you need?
Well, if Scarnecchia bought about 500,000 in Bitcoin in 2019, then he's got about 35 million sitting in the bank right now. So he's all good. It's all good.
You're never all good, Big O. You're never all good. And here's what I love about Ross, which Dolphin fans do not get. There is no limit.
No, it's true. No, that I won't argue. There
is no limit.
I would love to bring Scarnecchia here, dude. Don't get me wrong. That would be fantastic.
At some point, you have to look at what your issues are. Realize the people that you have on your staff cannot fix them, and then bring in consultants that can help you fix it, salvage your season, salvage your team. And I'm not saying maybe the move of Austin Jackson to left guard and Liam to left tackle, maybe it addresses your line problems.
Maybe.
We don't know. It's probably going to take us 3 games before we know. But and I have nothing against Jean Pierre. But I suspect
that's all.
I suspect he might be in a little over his head.
Right. Well, not only is he might be over his head. He was also given an incredibly difficult assignment.
Yes,
and most offensive line coaches don't have to break in 4 young guys along with the journeyman.
4 young guys, lose your starting center, have your veteran guy play on one leg. Like, come on, man. This is a recipe for disaster.
And you don't have a 17-year quarterback that has seen everything and can kind of mask some of that stuff.
Tua hopefully will help them get better because Tua does have good pocket presence. And I know Dolphin fans have not seen it because they have not seen it, but Tua has very good pocket presence.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's just a matter of your boy.
Yeah, stop it.
Inside.
You had to go there. Did I bring up Jakeem Grant? Did I say anything about Jakeem?
Well, he's not on this team anymore. You
should still be a fan.
It's like a flow. It's like a flow thing. We can only talk about the players that are here, Omar. We can't talk about the players that are not here, Omar. What's wrong with you? That's a waste of time. That's a distraction we don't need here in this interview, Omar. All right, talking about players that aren't here.
I'm just saying. I'm dying to see what he does in Chicago.
Is he going to play this week?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay. He did field a punt in the end zone? Sean says he fielded a punt in the end zone last week.
Okay. All right. He was active at least.
Let's hope so.
I can't believe they took that contract.
I wish him the best, man. Let's see
I wish him the best, and he's proven me wrong. He's been in the NFL twice as long as I thought he'd be.
Yeah. Let's hopefully he goes back to excelling what he normally does. Oh, thank you as always, my brother. Have a great weekend, and we will talk post game on Sunday.
All right. Talk to you later.
You got it. That is Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. We're going to take a very quick break. On the other side, Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald will join us. Let's talk about the dysfunction going on in Fort Lauderdale with Inter Miami CF. We do that next.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
This is much better.
All righty, we are back. Sorry, was drinking a little water there. The one and only Michelle Kaufman is ready to go. Talk a little bit about that Inter-Miami mess going on. What is that? Okay, there we go. All right. Remember, you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. Catch her exceptional work, constantly breaking Inter-Miami stories at the Miami Herald website. Better yet, do what I've done. Subscribe. Support all the great journalists at the Miami Herald who do an excellent job of covering South Florida and South Florida sports. Michelle, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Very good. Do they realize how dysfunctional it looks from the outside with all the craziness that's gone on, the firing of the GM, the highest fines ever in MLS history? You've got the stuff that went on with Higuain talking that he thought he could smoke cigarettes and just, score 50 goals in a year. And now we've got Neville, who, it just makes you look like a sore loser. When you're not a good team, you really shouldn't be complaining about the refs. And then you get to the point where you go to the extreme of cheating, and now you come back the next day and you apologize. And so now I'm looking at dysfunction and bipolar-like, actions there. Not that I'm trying to make light of anyone that is suffering from that condition, but man, dude, it's Jekyll and Hyde, helter-skelter. Like, what the hell is going on in that organization?
Well, I mean, I think if you lump that all together, yes, it does look that way. I think each one of the things you discussed are all different. They're all different situations, to be honest. What happened this week is, yes, the culmination of 5 losses in a row, the last 3 by 1-0. And each of the 1-0 games had a controversial call that resulted in a goal or a goal being taken away. So the team was very, very frustrated after this last game because Gonzalo Higuain totally felt like he scored. The angle that the Inter Miami cameras had, which is what they had in their bench, what they were seeing is not what we saw on TV. So on TV, you didn't see the one defender that was closest to the closer sideline. So on TV, it didn't even look like a controversial call to me.
No, not at all.
It looked like, oh, okay, he got called offside. He was offside. The commentators didn't even say anything. And then Neville even said, in hindsight, when he discussed it later, this whole thing, is that he was surprised that he came into the press conference all fired up and his players were all fired up in the locker room. But when he got to the press conference, like no one was even asking about that call. No one made a big deal because on TV, it did not look like a bad call. The angle that they had on their camera, which is what they get fed to their bench live time, in their estimation and from those pictures that they presented, they felt that he was onside. So they thought that they should have had a goal there, and that should have been at least a tie, 1 point. The previous game, Julian Carranza in the 85th minute scored what looked like a nice header goal, and that would have been a tie in that game. And instead they come out with 0 because that goal was called off for a foul. And then in the previous game before that,
but it was a foul, and then the LGP one was a handball.
They're saying no. The handball one was very questionable because they said his arm was not necessarily. It was not deliberate that he was moving his arm to the back. In any case,
they can say whatever they want. I saw it, and that was un descarado trying to get away with a play. That's what it was. You're not kidding me on that one.
Right. All right. Well, that one, whatever. That's up for debate. Right. The point was that there were. The point was. They lost 3 games by 1 goal. They were upset. He had a meltdown. He apologized. He got fined by the league. He had meetings with Howard Webb, whom he knows very well and respects a lot. They know each other since England, and he oversees the whole pro referee program that MLS and U.S. Soccer have. So he met with Don Garber. He met with Howard Webb. He's, had conversations with all these people and was very contrite yesterday and apologized and said, look, I'm a new manager in the league. I got worked up. We were frustrated. I used the wrong words. I should never have said cheat. The thing they were most upset about was not that he questioned the calls, but that he, suggested that they were cheating, they were cheating, that they got robbed.
Right.
And, the Referees Association came out and said, no, we don't cheat. We don't rob people. You may disagree with the calls. Yes, sometimes mistakes are made, but we don't cheat teams and we don't rob teams. So anyway, I think they really want to put that behind them. The thing he talked about most yesterday is the real problem with the team is that for the last 2 years, they've been like the lowest scoring team in the league. This goes back to last year. This year's team, at this point, I'm putting in my advanced story, which I'm about to post. This year's team is actually less productive than last year's team. Last year's team finished with 25 goals in 23 games. This year's team so far has the same 25 goals through 28 games. So this year's team is scoring less than 1 goal a game. Last year's team scored just a smidge over 1 goal a game. So he talked at length yesterday about players other than Gonzalo Higuain having to step up because, he's really the only guy he's got 10 goals. Robbie has 4. And Rodolfo Pizarro has 3. And, I think we spoke in the last week that their problem with scoring, it's just that group of players is not, I think, and from the indications I'm getting, after this season, there will be some major lineup changes on this team, roster changes. He said yesterday that he and Chris Henderson are looking to lower the age of the roster. He used that phrase. He said, we need to lower the age of our roster because he said MLS used to be 15 years ago a retirement league. At least that's how it was perceived. He said, now it's a young man's league and that there are a lot of good players on the other teams they're facing who are coming up through the academies. You look at Pepe, guys that are 18 years old, 19 years old, they're the guys who are playing well in this league, and the old retirees are struggling. And especially in a place like Miami, South Florida, it's very hot and it's very hard to recover. When you're training in the heat every day, we know how hot and humid it is in Miami. And it's a game where you run around a lot and you have to be really fit. And so he mentioned yesterday that in the off season, they will be looking to, quote, lower the age of our roster. So at the time being, right now, they have who they have. They have 6 games to go with the men that they have, and they have to try to find a way to score because that's been, look, the last 3 games, they've lost 1-0. So they've allowed 1 goal each of the last 3 games, but they haven't scored any. Right. So they need to find a way to score.
A couple things off of what we were talking about here. First of all, I'm glad that they're going to go younger. One, they have to go find diamonds in the rough because they don't have the cap space anyways to go pay for somebody. So that's very understandable. And one of the problems that has been existing all year long, and it includes with Higuain, you can tell they're not athletic enough. There's
not enough speed. Not enough speed on that team.
There's no speed on this team. And Higuain, the ball gets taken away from him constantly. He can't reach balls constantly because he gets outrun by people constantly. And this is their best player, and that's why he has to just hang out in the box and wait for something to score, because out in the open field, he doesn't have the kind of speed to actually cause any kind of damage. And most of these guys can't outrun anybody. So that's
Lewis Morgan.
that has been a major problem for them all year. And I thought the Vasilev kid was going to add something because he's younger, brought a little speed early on. He was kind of making an impact. That's kind of faded away too now in the last couple of games. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Did they figure him out? Are they not using him? But there's no doubt that this team is far from athletic, and it just clearly doesn't have the kind of speed it needs.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Lewis Morgan has speed. Robbie Robinson has speed. Vasilev has speed. Beyond that, there really isn't much speed on the team. And yeah, that's definitely an area that they have to improve. I mean, you just see it week after week, exactly what you're saying. And Gonzalo he seems to be just increasingly frustrated week after week. His arms are flailing and flailing and flailing. And, because if he stays in the box, I think in his mind, if he stays in the box, which is really where he belongs because he can't run around, he is still a good finisher. But if he stays in the box, he's not getting the service. So He gets frustrated with that. Excuse me. Then if he leaves the box, which he does a lot, he drops back and retreats and runs all over the place to try to create, because he's so frustrated that no one's creating for him. So then he tries to create on his own. But what happens when he does that is he retreats, and then someone tries to get him the ball and then he can't run back forward to catch it. Then he's too far back and he's out of position, and he doesn't have the speed to get back to the front. So, while he is the highest scoring player on the team, he also, the way he plays is also, the way he's trying to do everything on his own is detrimental to the team too. So he's like the leading scorer on the team, but he's also in some ways maybe preventing other guys from creating some stuff because he's all over the place. So, but you see his point. He's like, hey, I'm the only guy in the team who's scoring. So I got to run around. I got to get the ball. I got to do what I can. I got to score. He's very desperate to score. So yeah, they're kind of a mess offensively, to be honest. They need to make some big changes in the offseason for sure.
What's your gut tell you with the 3 DPs? Because I think in a perfect world, to be brutally honest, you get rid of all 3 of them.
Yeah, okay? I think for sure 2 of them will be gone. 2 out of 3. The problem is I just think that it's going to be even if they wanted to just start over with the DPs, you have to find someone to buy those DPs or a way to get rid of those DPs. The only thing I could think of is, if Higuain decides to retire or something like that, that would be one solution there. If he decides not to play, I don't know. He really has been their leading. He has 10 goals this year. He has 10 goals. The next highest player has 4.
They'll keep him because, like you just said, they can't get rid of him. What they'll need to do is get rid of Matuidi and Pizarro, and out of one of those 2 DP spots, they have to find a terrific midfielder. That's
a really good creative midfielder, a very good creative midfielder
that can also score too, by the way.
Yes.
But a guy that can really set Higuain up and make his life easy, like what you and I used to see with Epibe, who he would make whoever was the forward effing love that guy because he knew that the ball was going to be placed.
He would feed them on a silver platter. It was like he was like a waiter, coming with room service, knocking on your door. Yeah.
An artist.
Yeah. No, so they need, they definitely, Pizarro is not that, he has not been that player. No. I don't know if it's partly he and Higuain do not have the right chemistry to form partnerships there. And then Robbie and Higuain are at the opposite ends of their careers. And so, Robbie is just learning and he's coming from college. And then he's supposed to partner with a guy who's, played on the Argentine national team and has played in Juventus and played in Real Madrid or whatever. Those 2 guys are on different they're in different places right now in their careers. So they don't seem to have the chemistry, and Higuain does not seem to have the chemistry with Pizarro either. So there's definitely a disconnect in the front there in those trios. And then we talked, I think last time, but Lewis Morgan, last year, Lewis Morgan was a huge part of the offense. And now that they've moved him to a wing back, he's not creating as many chances. He's not getting as many assists. He even scored last year more. He was the leading scorer, I think on the team last year. Yeah. So, it's the offense is definitely not working. And I don't know what's going to happen the next 6 games. I mean, they have 6 games to go. They don't want to, they've already lost 5 in a row now. They really need to find a way to turn things around. And I think they feel that defensively they have, like I said, they only gave up 1 goal each of the last 3 games, but they have not scored a single goal in the last 3 games. So
I'm with you. And I'll say something about Robbie that I don't think most people would end up saying it. I think Robbie's problem is he needs to grow up. He needs to toughen up. When I see Robbie, I see an incredibly talented player. I just don't see mentally a tough player. I don't see a guy. I see a kid still is what I see in him. I see kind of a kid that's still soft. He's not hardened yet enough. And I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if he has it in him, but that to me, it's an attitude thing with Robbie.
Yeah, you can see it. And I think that going to Chile,
it would be good if he would have stayed there for a while.
If he would have stayed, but he didn't. And that, in my mind, I mean, I'm just playing, armchair psychologist, whatever. I think that hurt him because right at that moment, he had finally found the confidence. You could see it. He scored in a couple of games back to back. He was like, I won't say he had a full swagger. We're talking about Robbie Robinson. He's not like a swagger kind of guy, but he seemed to be playing with confidence, much more confidence than he had earlier. He was, he had gotten over the hamstring injury. He was a couple of games back to back scored and, going out and, celebrating with the crowd and his teammates surrounding him and all that. And then he, those 4 days, it was just a 4-day stretch, but to go down there and, feel it looked like he just felt so out of place there, and it just wasn't the right place.
He got homesick again and wanted to come back.
And then to deal with, the Chilean fans, they were brutal to him. And, he doesn't speak Spanish, but he knew based on literally thousands of comments he wrote a nice little Instagram. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really enjoyed my time in camp. I learned a lot, whatever. And they roasted him and toasted him. I mean, they just skewered him. And, I don't know. I think that seemed to have an effect on him because the next couple of weeks after that, he struggled and he's trying to find his way back now again. But he's been up and down. He definitely has the physical talent. He is fast. For a guy his size. The guy has speed. The guy can take guys on. But I do think, again, and we may have discussed this, but I think he's much better as a left wing.
I agree.
On the wing than he is. He's not really a 9. He's not as good with his back to the goal.
He's the only guy on the team that can break people down. Only guy that can dribble through traffic and survive and get a shot off.
Yes.
They don't have anyone else on that team. They might have a guy or two that might get through the traffic, but he's gonna lose the ball in the end.
Right.
Robbie's the only guy that can get through the defense and get in the box and have a shot.
Yeah,
he
and
has
Phil,
all the skills to be a stud
in
this league, but until he is mentally tough, he is never going to get there physically.
Well, Phil said yesterday that they've been doing a lot of real deep analysis of the forwards and what are they doing, what are they not doing, whatever, who is creating chances at least. And he said that at this moment, other than Gonzalo, that the only other player who's really creating the most chances is Robbie. He said that the last 3 games, Robbie, against Atlanta, Portland, and New York, that Robbie Robinson did have the best chances. He did not finish,
right?
But he had the best chances and finds himself, what he said is Robbie does either create or find himself in positions to score more than the other guys that they have. And he said, the question now is that ruthlessness. He keeps talking about the ruthlessness, which is, I think, what you're talking about too.
Yeah,
he also talked about on corner kicks and wide free kicks, that he thinks the players have not been aggressive enough in the box. Like he said, when you have a corner kick or a wide free kick, you've got to really want to be the guy who goes in there and attacks that ball. He said there's one ball and one guy in the box is going to attack that ball. And who is that guy on this team? Who is the guy that is throwing himself in there time and time again to try to get to those balls? He said, that's what he thinks is lacking too.
Yeah, let me listen. And this, very few people I think in the audience are going to pick up on this. But if I could get Diego Serna's personality on the pitch, not off the pitch. I don't want Diego Serna's personality off the pitch, but on the pitch, if I could get his personality and put it inside Robbie,
oh yeah,
you have one of the MLS's leading scorers.
Yeah, their body types are not. He was also a strong, kind of a big, strong bull, kind of a forward, which is what Robbie can be. He has the size.
Undeniable. You were not going to stop him from trying to make a play.
Right.
He was going to get through you, around you. Whatever he had to do.
Where is he? Let's call him up. How old is Diego now? Would he still be a bit?
He's got to be early 40s to late 30s,
okay.
Right?
All right. Well, I don't know. I'd like to see what kind of shape he's in.
Diego Serna. Look it up for me. Okay, if you got a picture there. All right, before I let you go, one more thing. And look, I'll give him a pass to a certain extent because, Michelle, any of us that start a business, yeah, that's him. 47? Wow.
He's 47?
47,
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Okay.
Michelle, we've been at this for a while, you and I.
Oh, my God, do I feel old. Okay.
So, yeah. We've been at this for a while. But, look, when you start a business or anything new, you're going to make mistakes. You got to figure things out.
Yep.
Well, I understand that Jorge Mas and company are going to make mistakes. It's a new business. It's a new type of venture for him. This is not something that he's used to. Neville also, coaching in a men's professional league for the first time. And there's a lot of frustrations.
And in the United States, MLS is a complicated league to understand. Yeah.
Very complicated, yes. And not nearly as easy as people make it out to be. And I think Higuain has learned that the hard way, like a lot of other players when they
Neville said that too. By the way, yesterday a reporter from The Guardian was on the conference call, and the Guardian reporter asked him, how's it going your first year? How would you summarize and everything? And Phil gave kind of a summary, which is where he mentioned that he wants to lower the age of the roster for next year. But one of the things he said is, I will say this and I'll say it again. He said, this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest league to win in the world because of the parity, because all of the teams have basically the same budget other than the DPs. The rest of the budget is identical for every team, which he said is not the case anywhere else in the world. Yeah. And so the teams, you may not have the best talent in the world in the MLS, but you have the most even talent in the world. And he said that, every team, the difference between, the New England Revolution has 62 points and they've run away with it. But everybody else from number 2 to number 14 is not that big of a difference. Nobody should kid themselves. Miami at number 11 is not that different from a team at number 3. And they all beat each other through the year and they tie each other and whatever. You don't have like 3 teams that dominate and then a giant cliff to the rest.
Yeah.
So, he said that it's a very, very difficult league to win because of the parity and also the different time zones and the climates and all the different things that go on. So he said himself, look, I have learned so much just in the 8 months I've been here, but there's still a lot more to learn and a lot more to go. Yeah.
Sure. And the one thing I want them all to learn is when you suck, don't point fingers. Mm-hmm. When you want to point fingers when you're having success. And if somebody derails you from having more success, that's when you can get pissed and point fingers. But when you've been really a franchise that hasn't had a lot of success so far in its first 2 years, and you're having a terrible season, I just think it's a terrible look for you to play the sore loser game. And I think that's what Neville did. You want to complain? man, send the letter behind the scenes. Don't, do something behind. But publicly, when you're a bad franchise, you've got nothing to stand on, and you cannot be pointing fingers at anybody when you're not doing anything right in your house. And that, to me, would be the message that I would send to Inter Miami. First, fix your house before you actually challenge anyone else at what they're doing in their house. That's all I would say to them.
All right. Good message. I hear you.
You
agree? I hear what you're saying.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. I also think there are probably some psychological games that go on in locker rooms where coaches maybe at the end of a 5-game losing streak where Gonzalo Higuain is very upset, maybe a coach deflects some of the criticism from the team by distracting, Right. I mean, maybe even subconsciously, but I don't think it was a mistake. It was a mistake. He admitted it was a mistake yesterday. I think he flew off the handle. He had a meltdown.
I get it.
He should have calmed down before he spoke to the media. I think he spoke to us too soon after that game, and from what he told us, the locker room was, the players were all really mad, and they all felt that they got gypped from the 3rd game in a row and blah, blah, blah. Like, that was the mood.
Right.
That was not the mood among the fans or anyone who watched on TV, because to us, that didn't look like a bad call. But to those 23 players and the coach in the locker room, they were all, all upset. And he comes out of there like, yelling and defending his team and whatever. And we were just like, we were a little caught off guard because we didn't even view it as a very controversial play, because off TV it didn't look like one.
No, it looked like the right call, actually.
It looked like the right call. So, he definitely admitted yesterday that he used the wrong language. He spoke off the hip. He said, I shouldn't have done that. He needs to respect the referees. There needs to be mutual respect, that over a 34-game season, everything should even itself out. If you go back and look at all the games they've played, I'm sure there have been calls that went the other way, where the other team got something that they shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's sports. And
they scored that goal on him. It went inside, and it bounced out from Marshman, and they didn't give them the goal.
Right. That one. Yeah.
That was, it happens, man.
It happens.
You know what? Go win the next 6 in a row, and then you can come back and say, you see that game that they stole from us? That would have helped us. Then, for me, that's what you got to do. Fix your house first. Then you can point at other people that aren't doing their jobs.
Right. No, I agree. I agree.
Inter Miami is far from pointing fingers at anybody right now until they fix their house.
Right. Now, Nick Marsman said it yesterday. He said, we can sit here and talk about referees, or we can talk about how to improve our team. He said, I'm choosing to talk about how to improve our team.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports and catch her exceptional work covering Inter Miami and constantly breaking news at the Miami Herald. As always, Michelle, thank you. Enjoy the soccer over the weekend. We will.
All right. By the way, Miami FC tomorrow night has a home game. So
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyone looking for a home game tomorrow, go to FIU tomorrow night.
All right. I'm going to the Fix tomorrow night. I'm going to go.
Okay. Enjoy.
Right. You be good.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman. There we go. We love it. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 3, live from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. We're back for the final hour of the show.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, aka the Big O, he covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Fly Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727, or online at adreamlending.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, hour number 3 of the program coming to you live, of course, from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Come on by, say hi. We'll be out here at least for another hour. Appreciate all of you out there keeping it locked and loaded. We thank of course, Michelle Kaufman for taking some time and talking a little Inter Miami. I love Inter Miami, man. I am hoping that they can figure it out. And I have no doubt in my mind that Jorge Mas will figure it out. I've been around the man long enough. He wants to win badly. Okay? Now, he, along with many others, have screwed up royally, and I'm sure he's the first guy to tell you that. And right now, it's not a good look. This is not how you want to sell the sport to people in South Florida. And listen, I've been through this a lot as, you know, being in the media and watching these new franchises come to South Florida and watching several soccer teams here in South Florida try to sell soccer. It's like watching hockey last night. Did you watch the game last night, Sean? Was the arena packed? But there were seats, is what I'm saying. To be honest. Okay, in a game that should have been sold out against the Penguins, season opener, you haven't convinced your fan base yet. They still don't believe that you've turned the corner. So they all haven't showed up yet. That's what I'm talking about. It's a process here to kind of sell your team to your fans. And the Marlins haven't been able to ever do it. The only time they did it was the years that they were good enough to get into the playoffs, and then people said, oh, they're in the playoffs. All right, let's get on the bandwagon now. And they all waited to the playoffs pretty much. Although in 2003, the Dontrelle Willis games were an event. I will admit that. That did become an event. I still remember the Randy Johnson, Dontrelle Willis game. Dude, that was pretty cool. That was fun. But you've got to sell. And Inter Miami has not done anything whatsoever to sell soccer to South Florida. The people that you see in the stands, those are soccer lovers. They would have gone anyway. It didn't matter if it's 11 turds that are running around kicking the ball. They would have gone anyway. But even those hardcore fans, you will start losing them. And if you watch as the season wears on, there's less and less people in the stands. The supporters groups, that's always going to stay strong because Southern Legion and Vice City and what's the third one I'm missing now? Siege. The Siege, they're ass kickers. The Siege is super strong. So is Vice City, Southern Legion. You know, they are fanatical about their teams. So they're going to support whether it's the Miami FC, whether it's Inter Miami, whether it's the Strikers. Those supporter groups are going to be out there. Like back in the day in the Strikers, Flight 19, they were always there, man, strong. But you've got to sell to the average fan down here, and Inter has not done that. And they're far from it right now. They've gotten themselves farther away from it because they came in with all the hype, and they never even came close to it, and now it's 2 years of it. And everything else that's gone on, it makes it that much harder for you to sell it next year. Oh, can you explain what mining and blockchains are? When you talk about it, I get lost. All right, Troy, without boring people, blockchain is the internet. Blockchain is going to be the new internet. It's a blockchain is a block of information, and then you have miners all over the world that are solving the riddle of each of the information blocks. And when they solve the riddle, then they get credit. The miner gets credit, and the transaction gets locked. And it can never, ever be opened again. You can never reach it. You can never touch it. You can't do anything. And the blockchain, what the difference between a regular computer and a blockchain, okay? A computer has a hard drive that you get in. The blockchain, technically, you can say the entire thing is a hard drive. Why? Because once you've done one transaction and locked it, it moves on and it's the next one and the next one. And the only way to get to the computer is by starting with the first transaction now that's going on today, okay? And then you have to hack that first transaction, to hack the second one, to hack the third one, and there's been billions already since 2008. So it's impossible to hack. because it's not one hacking, it's billions that you have to hack. So it's impossible. So when you hear about certain, like Tron's a really good company, but they were hacked twice. Now, I tell you they're a really good company because they were hacked for $4 and $6 million. And you know what they did? They went right to their fund and replaced the money right away. That's a good company because they had a pool of money waiting just in case. They got hacked through their network as they were trying to connect into the blockchain. But you don't get to, Bitcoin doesn't get hacked. None of this stuff ever gets hacked. Now, these new companies that, as they're trying to get onto the blockchain, they may have some issues, and these are kinks that they've got to work out, and then they figure it out, and then they're fine. That's what a blockchain is. And then the miners are mining Bitcoin, they are mining Ethereum, they are mining Doge, they are mining Shib, they are mining Aave, they are mining. There's miners for all kinds of coins. They are paid by either by coins or per transaction. Like Ethereum used to pay them in Ethereum. Now they are proof of work. So now they are getting less commission, but they do get a commission instead. Okay. Bitcoin miners obviously were collecting Bitcoin along the way as they were mining. So this is kind of the whole thing. You have your miners and they're individual people all around the world. And then you have the blockchain, which is what the businesses are built on, the websites, the smart contracts. When you hear smart contracts, those are agreements that are made by two parties, and they enter a smart contract, and we will do this for this. And then the contract kicks in, and it's locked in. And you have to do exactly what the contract says, or it is void. So this is how DeFi is going to work. This is the simplest way that I can explain it, because there's also a layer 2, and we could talk about sharding, and we could talk about transactions, and how depending on what you're working on, some, like, let's say Polygon, they can actually have more transactions than Ethereum. In fact, I think when I last checked was yesterday, the day before, I want to say Polygon's up to like 5 times the transactions that Ethereum has right now. Why? Because Ethereum has not added its layer 2, whereas Polygon already has added its layer 2. And layer 2 is the next level that they're adding to the blockchain to add more transactions, to make it cleaner, and they can actually process more per second. So what I would suggest to a lot of you is go to YouTube and go to videos and explaining blockchains, explaining mining, crypto mining and things like that. And you'll see, they'll show you the computers and everything that they use in order to do the mining. The Miami coin, it's genius what Suarez has done, because he created the coin and the city is making 30% off the miners. So the fee that the miners would get is only 70% of the 100% of the pie. 30% is going to the city. So it's not affecting us retail buying and selling of the Miami coin. And then the Miami coin eventually is supposed to be used as currency in different places all throughout, Dade County. So I don't know if it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but that's kind of the idea. And it's also going to be used, and the profits that they've made, which is like close to $6 million now in the first couple of months, Suarez wants to use it for certain programs to help the city and also to alleviate the tax burden for people. If he can do that, they're going to be able to do that also. It's a complicated thing, man. It's not simple, but if you take the time to actually learn to understand what's going on, you will then pick up on why our world is actually going to live by digital currency, DeFi, smart contracts, NFTs. All of these things are going to be part of everyday life. And you're going to be going on the internet and you're not going to realize that you're on the blockchain. because certain businesses will be on the blockchain. That's just the way it is. And blockchains it's the internet. So Ethereum is a blockchain, Cardano's a blockchain, Polkadot's a blockchain, Luna's a blockchain, VeChain's a blockchain, BitTorrent's a blockchain, and not all of them connect yet. But you've got like companies like Harmony, that's why they call themselves Harmony. They are building bridges to all the blockchains to connect. BitTorrent is doing the same thing. They want to build they're building their blockchain. They're adding layer 2 at the end of this month. And they partnered with Tron. And Tron is a coin that goes just under 10 cents. They have 5 times the transactions that PayPal has. So that's going to be on the BitTorrent. That's why I've told you guys BitTorrent is actually a real bargain right now at a third of a penny per coin. I think that's going to be several cents by next year. So this is all part of it. So this is the building of the future of the internet now, because the blockchain is the safest way for all of us to do our transactions, build our businesses, go through smart contracts, NFTs, all of the banking, all of the stuff that we're going to do that we do on the internet, we're going to eventually all be on the blockchain, because the internet is a disaster. That's why. So I hope I was able to explain it and clear it up a little bit for some of you. Andy Rio says, why hasn't a former Cane from back when they were dogs come back and be the head coach to bring them back to being a prestigious program? Well, who would that be, sir? Andy, you want to make somebody what they're not. You know what I mean? I don't see Alonzo Highsmith trying to be a head coach. I don't see Warren Sapp trying to be a head coach. Not that I would want him to be a head coach. Oh my God, he'd be Rick Pitino part 2. Anyway, but I you can't ask former players, and you don't even know if they'll be any good. I laugh when people tell me, we should go hire Ken Dorsey. Who the hell tells you Ken Dorsey is going to be a great recruiter and a great builder of programs, and he's going to connect with parents and mentors and all that kind of stuff? He might know X's and O's. Doesn't mean he can run a program. I always laugh at that. We don't know who's going to be a good coach or not. Magic Johnson wanted to get into coaching. He ran away in a month. His ass was scared shitless of the job. And that's Magic Johnson. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't do it either. You know how many great great players have been utter failures as coaches? Yeah, no, I don't think that's the answer. That, we need a former Canes great. Have Miami fans done the math yet on Henry joining the Titans in 2016, yet didn't take off until when Tannehill became QB in 2019, but Tannehill will never be the QB, right? I think Derrick Henry was running for good yardage either way. I'm not sure if you know that, but I can look it up for you if you want. But I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry was actually was running for excellent yardage. And by the way, he was dominating in Alabama. Oh, you have him there? Okay. Let's see. He had 6,000. He had 490 first year, and then 744 in 2018. He started with 1,000 yards, but remember he was sharing with Chris Johnson those first couple of years, if I'm correct, right? Wasn't Chris Johnson in 16 and 17 when he had 490 and 744? He then went to 1,059, 1,540, 2,027, and he has 640. Look up Chris Johnson. Tell me where he was in 2016 and 2017, because I'm pretty sure that he was sharing carries his first 2 years with Chris Johnson, or maybe another, or was it another back? Maybe Chris Johnson 1 year and then another back the other year. But the first 2 years, I want to say that he was sharing time. I'm pretty sure of that. Big O, what's your opinion on Flo telling the media Tua is doing well in practice when Omar reports he is very restricted in his movements? It sounds like a disconnect to me. What are your thoughts? I don't think Omar described it as very restricted. He just thought he was a little restricted, not very restricted. I think that's how he kind of described it. I'd have to look it up. But he'll also say, remember, a lot of people were saying Waddle had a limp, and then coach was saying, no, he doesn't. And there was no problem. Waddle wasn't really limping around, that it was hurting his play, and he hasn't lost out on any playing time or anything like that. Let's see. Tannehill, Henry could have led us to the promised land, but if they would have built an O-line, same old problem. Yes. And by the way, what promised land has Tannehill led them to? I'm sorry. I must have missed that. What promised land? What have they won? And it's Derrick Henry leading them, not Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill's the one that wins games throwing 70 yards, dude. I love how people just, create their own narratives. How old were you in the picture of you with your hands out and looking up? You looked like you were in good shape then. Well, there's a lot of pictures there that I was in good shape. That was 2 years ago, before the pandemic. Once the pandemic started, I was done. Let's see. Bring in Neon Deion Sanders. The Dolphins seem to have one more injury than other teams. Do you have any insights into medical trainers on the team? Yeah, everybody has injuries, dude. Have you seen the Bucs? Yeah, do you know the Bucs, like, entire secondary's out? Did you watch the Baltimore Ravens lose like 67 running backs? Again, you guys create these narratives that they're completely off. There's tons of teams that have had injuries and more than Miami. You only follow Miami, dude. That's why you say that, but you don't really follow the NFL, because you wouldn't say that if you were actually following the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens have had more injuries than anybody in the NFL, pretty much. Huh? DeMarco Murray? With one of them? And both? Wow. So DeMarco Murray, both years. What did he rush for in 16 and 17? He had 1,287 yards in 2016. Way to understand the facts about Derrick Henry, dude. And what's the other one? 16. What did DeMarco Murray in 17 have? So he had a 1,000+ yard rusher in front of him. No, but it was when Ryan Tannehill got there, dude. You go ahead and believe that. Go ahead, dude. You go ahead. Some of you actually got to do your homework at times. And you got to, like, really understand the sport and really follow it before you actually talk about it. 2 guys in a row. One guy created a narrative that Derrick Henry didn't run the ball a lot because it was Ryan Tannehill that got him to elevate it a couple of years later. And he leaves out that DeMarco Murray had 1,400 yards. That's why Derrick Henry wasn't getting the ball nearly as much. And then we got the other guy going, well, the Dolphins have more injuries than everybody else. And no, they don't. That's the problem that goes on in our society, in everything. We have people that run their mouths and they don't know what they're talking about because they don't do their homework, or they become some kind of a virus expert because they read something on Facebook. They didn't read it from the New England Journal of Medicine. They didn't read it from Johns Hopkins. No, they read it from Facebook because somebody else posted something. This is our problem here. You don't do your homework. In 2017, DeMarco had 659. So it went down, and 6 touchdowns. Right, and Derrick Henry had 744 and 5 touchdowns. Oh, and Marcus Mariota had 312 yards and 17. So, see, now you have all the facts now. You had a running quarterback, another running back in front of Derrick Henry. But no, dude, tell your friends that Derrick Henry did nothing until Ryan Tannehill. It's not like he won the Heisman or anything like that at Alabama. It's not like he rushed for, didn't he rush for almost 2,000 yards at Alabama? I want to say, no, it must have been the spirit of Ryan Tannehill with him at Alabama. Did I miss the Omar segment? Yeah, I would say so, sir. I would say so. You can rewind. And it'll be podcasted later. Both ways, video and audio. Who said Ken Dorsey was a great player? Really? Dean, you didn't say that, right? You just didn't say that Ken Dorsey wasn't great at college? Well, some of you guys are really on a roll. Now we got a guy that doesn't think Ken Dorsey was a great college player. Wow. Okay. Oh, please ask Sean Stanley if he's still hungry. Yes. Kind of a question is that? Sean Stanley's always hungry. And why haven't you all brought some food to him here at Craig's Inn, Acura, Pembroke Pines? Come on down. Bring him some food. 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. You just knocked the hell out of the camera down. There we go. There, now we're getting it up. That's what she said. All right, remember 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Big O, I love that cars that can be seen in front of you, that white sub. I love them. Yes, definitely. Yes. We got some really nice cars right in front of us right now, as it is. And they got a great selection right now at Craig's Inn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, folks. Come on out here to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. Trust me. Problem with the Dolphins, Mike Monaco says from the Bronx, fans is they constantly look at their team and try to compare Derrick Henry behind the Dolphins line would be neutralized, and all of you would be pointing the finger about it. Yep, you're right. You're right. Mike, it's hard to argue with logic, and that's the problem with all of that. I mean, the funnier part is thinking that Ryan is going to take you anywhere. Like, if you actually watch the Titans, it's all Derrick Henry. And when they shut Derrick Henry down, then the Titans go away. They're quiet. Why? Because the quarterback doesn't make a difference. Lordy. Props for rocking a Maiden shirt. Oh, yep. Little Maiden today. Today I used my LA Forum shirt. Is what I did today. Today I used the shirt that when I saw him at the Los Angeles Forum, the Great Western Forum where Magic Johnson and company would play. I went out to LA to go see Maiden a couple of times. Saw him on back-to-back nights. And during the tour, depending on where they were, they would have special shirts for each city that they were in. And if you notice, see, that's the Forum. So it's Eddie on the Forum. So that's why I chose that one today. It's actually one of my favorite Maiden shirts. It's actually pretty cool. When I saw it, I go, oh, I got to get one of those, dude. I got to have one of the LA Forum. And if you've never been to a concert at the LA Forum, let me tell you something. One of the best arenas in the country. to see a concert, period. The acoustics are impeccable. Not good, not excellent, impeccable. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think they're going to tear it down when they build the new arena for the Clippers, I believe, which absolutely sucks. I want to go back to Los Angeles before that forum closes down. Does anybody know? Maybe I'm sure we have somebody that might be watching out on the West Coast, on the Southern California part of the West Coast. Is there a date when they're going to shut down the forum? Have they said that yet? I was hoping they wouldn't tear it down. It's one of my favorite places. When I go out to LA, because I love going out to LA at least for a week every year and go hang out and go see a bunch of concerts. And LA is such a great place to hang out. It really is. I wouldn't want to live there because it's, the traffic can drive you absolutely bonkers. But I could definitely hang out there for a week. Nothing wrong with that. Over and under on Tua throwing 250 this week. Also, I worked with you and Sean at The Man. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Sebastian Alvarez. Remember Sebastian? The Seabass is checking in. Seabass, good to hear from you, my brother. Yes, I think he'll go for over 250 this week, actually. I think he'll go between 250 and 300 and 2 touchdowns this week. I really believe that. Tua Omar says, great human being, and also I agree, but we don't need to find China and back of a bad line. Do you know what happens when find China, when it gets hit or dropped, it breaks? I got you, my man. How about doing this? How about putting the people in front of them that can actually block and you can keep them clean? That's it. Yeah. Let's get a right tackle that can, actually hold the guy and not get blindsided and slammed, which a lot of guys would get injured with the way he got completely walloped. But yeah, he's not a guy that's going to take a pounding. But neither was going to be Drew Brees. You think Drew Brees was going to be able to take a pounding? No. But you got to protect him. And Sean Payton did that. And then the quarterback on his own will do his own protecting by what? Getting rid of the football. But you cannot protect yourself when you cannot see who's coming at you. And that's what happened with Jesse Davis. His back was turned to the defender. He doesn't know the guy's coming. And he got mollywopped. Oh, I was hearing things when you said Zeppelin was going to do a reunion tour weeks back. Yes, you weren't hearing things. You will hear about it. You will hear about Zeppelin getting back together. Jason Bonham will be at drums. You will hear about the Rolling Stones. Oh, it came out already? So we broke it before the digital. Didn't I tell you guys that the Stones were going to Hard Rock before it came out? I knew it like for several days. I just forgot to say it. Right? So I told you guys about the Stones at the Hard Rock Hotel before anybody. And I'm telling you, Led Zeppelin's getting back together. They're going to do 20 dates. I already know and everything that's 20 dates. I don't think they're going to come here, by the way. Rolling Stones to close tour at Seminole Hard Rock. There you go. Well, what time did that come out? Don't have a time? Okay. But anyway, so yeah, you weren't hearing things, my brother. It's 20 dates and everything. How about that? I can give you even how long the tour is. You'll hear about it. Don't worry about it. You'll hear about it. If I tell you, it's because I probably heard it from a very good source about what's going on there. So there you go. I got the Stones one right? Now you'll eventually hear the Zeppelin one. The only thing I don't know exactly are the dates. That's the only thing I don't know. But I do know that they're going to tour. I do know that Jason Bonham once again will be on drums. And I know it's 20 dates. That I know. And I'm also pretty sure that we will not get a date. You will travel to go see him if you need to. We will travel if we need to see him because I'm traveling. I'm seeing Zeppelin somewhere. Bet your ass on that. Anyone thinks that they are Bill Belichick or come from the Belichick tree ain't going nowhere. All bust. Just facts. That's it, Muffy. Give them the facts. Mike Scroll says Led Zeppelin in 69 at Dania Beach sucked. Now, why did it suck? Did they suck? Were you wasted? Were they wasted? Was it bad equipment? Was it bad, what's it called, acoustics? I mean, there are different reasons why sometimes I've been to enough concerts that I've been to concerts that have gone bad because the singer had, a cold, the equipment, there was some technical issues. I mean, there are different reasons, or they were just bad, or they sounded like, David Lee Roth does nowadays, or Vince Neil. Christopher Wilson says, Big O, what coin should I invest in? Christopher, right now, a lot of the stuff has shot up. So, hey, listen, first of all, I am not a financial advisor. Okay? You do what you think is responsible with your own money. I only do what I think is responsible with my money. I will give you the information that I would do with my money. You, I suggest, do your homework. Okay? Count on yourself for all of this. Read, do your homework. Now that I've said that, okay, if I'm going to give you what I think are good values right now still, I'm going to go VeChain at 11 cents. Right now, it's just under 12. VeChain, it was at better prices at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cents, but still at just under 12 cents. The good thing about VeChain's been low for a while, and it's given so many people an opportunity to get in and before it does blow up, because once it does go on a parabolic move, you will never get these prices again. And I believe it's about to go on a parabolic move by the end of the year, that it's going to go pushing to 75 cents to $1. Okay? So I love VeChain. I think that is a good deal right now. Cardano still at 225. It's gone up a little bit. You could have gotten it a little bit lower at 210, 212, 209, around there a couple of days ago. But Cardano is another one that is going to make monster moves. And it's been consolidating for a while now in this area, and it's going to start making moves. I think that is actually a good bargain right now, Cardano and VeChain. Listen, Bitcoin is already over $61,000 right now, so it's it's always a good investment to be in a Bitcoin, but it's gone up so much. Ethereum is up to 3860 right now. I mean, they're both good investments. You're not going to lose with them. But all I would tell you is that if you do invest in those, you have to stay with it. And do not get off the gravy train. Even if there's a little bit of a dip, you buy the dip is what you do. You stay with it long term because it'll climb back up again. Example, I have Bitcoin at $50,000. And it dipped all the way to 28. I didn't panic and sell my Bitcoin. I bought more Bitcoin. That's what I did because I knew it would bounce back. Sure enough, it's now at $61,000. So my $50,000 Bitcoin, I'm making money on it. But guess what? I'm also making more money now on the stuff I bought at 28 and at 30 and at 33. You know what I mean? So these are the things that you have to also understand with crypto. If you're investing in a good coin, give it an opportunity to grow, and it's going to actually have its ups and downs. Okay? So you have to be patient with it, and because the lows will get higher and the highs will get higher. And that will put you in a very positive position. Let's see. How is the fix in the English beat? That's tomorrow night. No English beat. They just canceled the English beat. Tomorrow night is the fix. So you can ask me on Sunday when I'm doing pregame and post over at, what's it called? That Sports Grill in Miami Lakes. I'm trying to think of, right now, I know it's gone up a lot in the last month, but I think that Terra Luna is another one. It was in the 20s a couple months back. It's now at $37. It's been as high as $40 at times and $47, and it's at $37 now. And it was at $47, folks, $48 on October 4th. So it went down to 37. Terra is another one that Luna, I think, is also going to climb. That's another one that right now is a pretty good investment at this point. Let me see what else that I have here. BitTorrent, BTT. You can get it on the Voyager app. BitTorrent is still at a third of a cent, and I think it's going to be at a few cent early into next year. So if it goes up to 5, 6, 7 cents, and you bought it at a third of a cent, you do the math. How many times is that over? So I think BitTorrent's another one that's going, and BitTorrent's a long-term hold. So be patient. It's going to go up soon. And you can make some money and you can take some profits off, but I would hold it long-term for a year or two because I think it's going to go up a lot when it's all said and done. As the blockchain grows and it adds more business, I think it's going to go up a lot. Let me see what else. Mina has gone down a little bit, which is actually a good thing in the last month. It's dipped a little bit. It was closer to the $6 area. It's now at $4.22. And this is also a new blockchain. And it's down actually right now, which is when you want to buy. Mina might don't go as crazy in Mina as some of the other ones that I've talked about. Cardano, you can go crazy on. BitTorrent, you can go crazy on. What's the other ones? Obviously, anything you buy with Bitcoin and anything you buy with Ethereum, even though you're buying it high now, stay with it because even Bitcoin at 61,000, it's going to go over 100,000. So you're going to make money, but you've got to stay with it. So if there's any little dips, stay strong and you'll be fine. Do not give in to any of the FUD. Yes. Oh, he's ready? Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a really quick break. Manny Navarro is going to join us. We're going to get into our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with the great one, Manny Navarro. We do that next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, we are back. Kyle Nick Ander, by the way, says, sounds like you're going to California. You're right, probably with the whole Led Zeppelin thing. Yeah, I'm going to go to California with an aching in my heart. You are correct, sir. All right, let's get into a little Miami Hurricanes talk. Manny Navarro has landed in Raleigh. He is headed to Chapel Hill, ready to watch the boys tomorrow. How you feeling, bro? Did you have any Kens or Karens on the flight?
Yeah. No, we lucked out. There was none of that, Big O. But we are just standing here in the waiting to deplane here for like 10, 15 minutes. So we'll see if anybody turns into one of those here in the next few minutes.
Wait a minute, deplane? Like you haven't left the airport?
No, I'm still. We landed in Raleigh. We're just waiting to get off the plane.
Oh, I see. Oh, so you're I see. Okay. So you have landed in Raleigh. Okay, I got you now. All right,
Yep.
deplane, like get off the damn thing and get into the gate. All right, I got you now.
Yep.
All right, good stuff there. All right, so the boys, is there going to be a change on offense now because there are two different quarterbacks that we're going to watch? So how much of an adjustment is going to happen? And I know it's kind of unfair because you don't get to watch practice or anything like that, but I would imagine that things are going to change, right? Because of the different styles.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a little bit of it in the Virginia game, right? I mean, it was much more about pocket protection and not moving him out of the pocket or rolling him out. So I think in this game, you're going to see Miami play more of a style that's, either direct handoff or on the rare occurrence where you see Tyler Van Dyke take off and run, but it's not going to happen as often nearly as it did with De'Ara King. And I think they're going to ask him to get rid of the ball quicker. One thing Tyler talked about this week was, sort of finding those dump-off receivers instead of holding onto the ball and taking a sack. I think you're going to see him try to get rid of the ball underneath a little bit more and take his shots, but not hold on to the ball too long.
Is when you start looking at right now recruiting and everything else going on, how much is on the line in this game? Not so much the ACC, but everything else that we talk about.
Well, I mean, they lost their first commitment this week, a top 100 player out of Alabama, a kid who I guess is being pursued more now by Alabama. So it's kind of the first real crack as far as, losing somebody important in their recruiting class. And I don't know that they would have held on to him anyway, even if they were 3-2 or 4-1 right now. But certainly, I think the big picture is, how does the future recruiting sort of pan out here? They've only got 8 commitments. Their shot at getting some of the elite kids, I think, is on the line here. You got at some point here, you have to turn the season around and start winning. And even if they don't win the division, I think there's still things you could do to show teams that, hey, we're heading in the right direction. But if you lose this game on Saturday, I think you kind of send that message that it's time to start taking some kids that maybe normally wouldn't come to Miami because those are the only kids you can get.
Remember, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And, of course, subscribe to The Athletic so you can catch his terrific work, giving you the insight you need on the Canes every week. Manny, when you look at Diaz right now and the coaching staff, have they lost these players, or have they lost the players that they no longer will play, and they're keeping the young guys that are playing? Those are the guys that they're going to keep their focus. How do you view this locker room? Is this a locker room that's kind of divided? Is it a locker room that's united? Because, there are people that are talking about that this group hasn't quit on them. But I'm wondering if you're a player that maybe is now casted aside, I don't know how you keep that person focused.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's happening right now is the guys who have been casted aside for some of the younger players, they've basically, just walked out the door. I think guys like Mark Pope and D. Wiggins and Sam Brooks Jr., guys that were sort of at the end of the rotation or lost their spots, I think those are the guys that have basically decided, like, look, I've got to find somewhere else to play. I've got to start the process of figuring out where to go. So I think it's just some of the older players that have been phased out. I still think, very much the young guys on this team, the future of this team is still bought in. You're getting guys who are getting an opportunity to play a lot more now over the last few weeks. And so I don't think he's losing the team per se. I just think he's losing some of the dead weight that he probably needed to lose before the season.
Now, I'm with you there. Who are the young guys that, for the average Cane fan that's either watching or listening to this segment, who are the young guys that Canes fans need to focus in on, that these are the guys that they're turning the page with, and guys we should look at that, okay, this is the future of the Miami Hurricanes football program?
Yeah, well, certainly I think a guy like Jalen Knighton, who just came back, right, from suspension after 4 games, I think he's a guy that in the backfield, you look at him and Don Chaney Jr. and you say, okay, this is the future. Not that Cam Harris has done anything to necessarily lose, his opportunity yet. He's played a couple good games back-to-back, but I think overall, a guy like Jalen Knighton's going to start to get more touches. I think the receivers, the Romello Brinsons, the Brashard Smiths, Jacoby Georges of the world, all of those guys are going to start to get more involved in the rotation. You may see less of, Mike Harley and some of these other guys who have not always been consistent. Certainly Elijah Royo at tight end. You've had Will Mallory struggle. I mean, he's a 4th-year junior right now, and he's really struggled. And I think, in some ways you got to start getting the other guy ready, his replacement. The offensive line, Ja'Kai Clark just came back from that shoulder. He's the center of the future. Defensively, you got Leonard Taylor, you've got James Williams, two guys that are already part of the rotation. I don't know. I mean, I think you're going to see Marcus Clark at cornerback. You'll see Avonte Williams next week. He's another one of their safeties.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think you're going to see here in the weeks ahead that can certainly make an impact and be good players. And, maybe not elite, first-round picks, but play at a level that is on par with the guys that they're replacing or better.
What happened to Mallory? Why was I so off on him? I thought he would be pretty damn good this year. Is it his fault? Is it the offense? Is it the coaching? How would you read into it?
I think it's a combination of things. I think part of it is, he's not. He had Brevin Jordan to take a lot of heat off of him right before.
Right.
And now he's the number one guy, and I think defenses are sort of used to whatever Rhett Lashley's going to call for him. And so he's not creating a lot of great separation. And a lot of the passes that are thrown to him are sort of underneath, short routes. And he's just not doing a good job holding on to the football right now. So I think a lot of it is just schematically teams are taking him away and forcing Miami to go to the outside. And, those guys in the past haven't held on to the ball either. So I think it's a good strategy by most defenses. I just think right now, Will Mallory's, kind of a victim of his situation. He's not playing well, and I don't think they're scheming him up well enough to free him up to do the things that he can do well.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, we'll wrap it up with this. The offense for UNC can get hot. They've had their off moments too so far this year, but dude, they've hit the 50-point mark a couple times already.
Yeah.
So Sam Howell, we know Sam Howell is an NFL type quarterback that they've got there. The challenge for Miami's defense to slow them down, because I would imagine that's got to be the main key to trying to get a victory here.
Got to tackle, man. That's what it all comes down to, right? You got to be able to slow them down, not let them get the explosive play. They're not as explosive as they were last year at North Carolina, and their offensive line hasn't played very well. But I think, Miami's defense has been so putrid to this point. They're letting balls go right through their hands on turnovers. They're not bringing guys down on sacks. They're having major breakdowns in zone defense. They're very much susceptible to getting routed in this game. But hey, Manny Diaz wanted to be defensive coordinator. It's his time to shine. It's his time to figure it out. This is a very important game for Manny Diaz. If Mac Brown and these guys run him out of the building again, I don't know how he can defend himself in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, Max owned him. What'd you do? What'd you pick in this game?
I'm picking North Carolina to win, but I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think they're good enough to blow Miami out right now, and I think Manny still has a team that's going to fight. I just think offensively, it's tough to ask a second-year freshman first road start under this kind of situation where there's so much pressure on the team. So I think I'm picking North Carolina 34-31.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Better coach, better quarterback, and they're home. I have to lean to North Carolina, unfortunately, man. It absolutely sucks. Manny, enjoy the game, my brother. Be safe in your travels. I appreciate you taking some time, my man. You be good.
Anytime, brother. Talk next week.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro in our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. How about that dedication, dude? He's like on the plane, getting off the plane, still doing the segment. He's just an absolute stud, man. Really appreciate everything that Manny brings to the table. Really do. By the way, did you see the heat on Terry Bradshaw? I thought that was we get to this, our society at times, we've got that whole cancel culture thing going on, and I think people are too ultra sensitive at times to a point that it's just ridiculous, right? So here's Terry Bradshaw, and he is complimenting Erin Andrews, who is doing an interview with Devin White, right? I think it is, if I'm correct. I have it written here. It is Devin White, right? Yeah. So Devin White, and so you're interviewing the Bucks, right? So she's got a cowboy hat on and she's got her cowboy shirt on. No, I'm sorry. She's got cowboy boots on and a shirt. That's what it is, not a hat. A shirt and boots on. And you're going to see the video now. And Terry Bradshaw is getting heat for this. Go ahead, Sean. Let's play this. Let's show this video of Bradshaw doing nothing but complimenting Erin on her wittiness, or it's not wittiness, it's God, how what would I call it? Her craftiness of being dressed properly for the interview. Go ahead.
You got your cowboy boots on and your shirt. You're looking good. That was nice. I enjoyed that interview. Devin White. You got.
And he's not hitting on her. It's not the old man. It's not Brent Musburger salivating and drooling all over. What was the Alabama quarterback? The kid that AJ McCarron, that's been stealing money without a gun and a mask for years in the NFL. AJ McCarron, and poor kid got injured this year, but you've got that at home to nurse you back. You're good. But anyway, and as you guys remember AJ McCarron, or some of you may remember, AJ McCarron's girlfriend was an absolute smoke show. Not a partial smoke show, a complete smoke show. And Terry's just giving her props for the whole cowboy motif thing. That's all it was. He wasn't saying she's looking smoking hot and, oh my God, that's one saddle I want to straddle, or, he's not saying anything disgusting or something.
Got your cowboy boots on and your shirt. You're looking good. That was nice. I enjoyed that interview. Devin White.
That's it. Right. Devin White owns horses. Right. Yeah. So it was all a whole thing, the cowboy thing that in the interview. It was smart. It was cool. Nothing wrong with that. And I get it. Look, man, there are a lot of sick people out there. And there's a lot of horny old men out there, a.k.a. Brent Musburger. Brent Musburger, yes, he was literally drooling on that woman. Now, he wasn't interviewing her. He was just showing the picture of her in the stands. It's just, now people are picking on Terry like he's some creepy old man, and it's just so wrong. People just go to these extremes sometimes. This cancel culture crap is just, you can't compliment women anymore. It may not mean one bit of anything sexual, but if you got a coworker that's a female and, you've known her for years, and you say, hey, by the way, you dyed your hair, that's a very cool look for you. HR is coming for you. And not puffing stuff. Nuts. Myles Garrett, by the way, is prepared for Halloween. And he's prepared for Halloween in a very cool way. So as a lot of us do around the country, Halloween rolls around, and a lot of us are dressing up our homes, right? Putting up ghosts and goblins and witches and all kinds of pumpkins and all that stuff. And maybe you're carving a pumpkin and all that. And you put the candle and you put it out on the windowsill and all that. So you're trying to create that whole Halloween scary type of thing. So Myles Garrett, obviously defensive end for the Cleveland Browns, he's a guy that chases quarterbacks for a living. That's what he does. He likes to tackle quarterbacks. And, like most defensive ends, if they can knock them out of a game, that would be fantastic. So Myles Garrett, this Halloween, has come up with a new gimmick for his home. He has now set up his home with tombstones in front and quarterbacks' names that he has sacked. That's what's in front of his house. We're showing you the picture now so you can check it out. How's that? Yeah. Did Tua make the list? It is. So Tua is on the Tua is one of the tombstones that is there in the front. I didn't notice that Tua was in there. He's got Jackson and Jones. Okay. So he's like a lot of the young guys. Justin Fields. So he's going after all the young guys. That's funny. So that's good. So Myles Garrett with tombstones in front of his house. That's a good job by you. I did not notice that he had a Tua one in there. Oh, it's Kyler Murray, not Tua? Okay. Well, is Cleveland, Miami even played? Did they play him last year? Oh, there you go. I can see him now. Okay. Yeah, I see that there. All right, Herbert and Roethlisberger. Right, so no Tua yet. I don't think the Browns have played Miami in the last year. Definitely not this year. Last year I don't remember, so no. Yeah, so it couldn't be Tua. Okay. But hey, I give him credit. That's actually a cool thing. It's funny. That's creative right there. Tom Brady should put 7 goblin rings out there? That's probably what he should do. Terry Bradshaw must have drank a little too much. Ageless male before that segment. LOL. I don't think he meant wrong. Just a compliment that's going to get blown up because of everything else going on. Yeah, you could tell it wasn't like you're looking smoking hot, like it wasn't one of those things. It was, hey, creative way of dressing for that interview. Props. Talking about cowboy stuff, there you go. Okay. Horses, all that. That's cool. Sorry, that's harmless. Plus, Terry knows that's an impossible dream. What happened to Juan Comenderos, Dave Hefferman, Kevin Fagan, Julio Cortez, Eddie Brown, and Albert Bentley? Reminiscing with Hurricanes. Big O, Omar A+. Thank you. Very kind. How many 1K yardbacks in Dolphins history? No joke. Oh, God. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I know Ricky and Lamar. I know that, obviously, I think Zonka did it also. I'm wondering if Mercury Morris did it too. Trying to think of some of the guys that have gotten 1,000 yards. Did Ronnie Brown ever get 1,000 yards? I think he might have gotten it once. Right, yeah, no, I know Ricky had it. Oh, Jay Ajayi. Delvin Williams, that's right. Lamar, yes. Right. Larry Zonka. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nice. Lamar Miller had 1,000 yards for us in 2014. Wow. Oh, that's right. He did get over 1,000. Reggie Bush, the year that the late Tony Sperano, bless his soul, but he wanted to make him a running back, which was such a terrible move. But we love you, Tony. You're a nice man. Ronnie Brown did make it. Okay, there you go. And Mercury did it. There you go. So that's about 10 guys. 3 in the last decade. Okay. So about 10 guys in the history of the Dolphins have done it. Not a lot lately, man. What can I tell you? I think when they started telling Terry Bradshaw you can win 10,000 or $1 million of Terry's money or 100,000, whatever, he probably thought he can buy the world plus unlimited Viagras. There we go. Terry Kirby, no, did not make it. He was more of a receiver than a runner back in those days. Big O, what's your Halloween tradition? Scare my wife. All I do is wake up in the morning and look at her in the face. That's it. That's all. And then I say trick or treat. And it's neither one. Joe Namath had the all-time inappropriate comment. Oh, yeah, I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you. I don't care if the team is struggling. I want to kiss you. That was awesome. That was so awesome. The best part about that comment was actually the comments right after when the announcers took over. And I forgot the name of the guy that was he was usually the color guy. He was the former Bills guy. He was a special teams guy and not Tasker. He was an older guy than Tasker. He had the mustache. He was kind of chubby, a little bald. Somebody remember his name, please. I forgot his name, but oh boy, Joe is really happy or something. He closes it out, and it's hilarious, dude. He was always a pro Bills guy on the air, even if he didn't admit it. But you could tell even when he did games that were Bills games, there was always a little bit of an oomph for him and the Bills games. I forgot his name. Somebody will come up with it, man. I'm brain farting right now. I know him because I've seen him broadcast games back in the day 100 times over, but I'm forgetting his damn name. Can you find that video on YouTube? Try to just go to YouTube and put Joe Namath wants to kiss Susie, and I'm sure it'll come up right away. And damn, man, what's his name? I forgot his damn name. So funny. So funny. Joe is really happy. No, not Don Beebe. It's older. It's an older guy. It's not from that era. He was announcing the Don Beebe games. He was announcing the Steve Tasker games. He was the older dude with a mustache, brownish hair, kind of balding in the middle. Not Danny DeVito. It's just hard for me to remember the guy's name. But here we go. I think Sean has found it. Here we go. Let's play it. I don't know if the whole thing will be here.
For several hours.
I believe everything that anyone else has watched Chad play impresses me. The same thing impresses them.
Quarterback.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
It was awful.
No, see, this is not the one. You got to get the raw cut from it, from the game itself. McGuire is his name. There you go, Paul McGuire. Paul McGuire, way to go, Rich V and Thomas Jensen. There you go. I got the last name. It finally came to my mind. Paul McGuire. That's it. Paul McGuire. Way to go. You guys got it like right when my brain fart was clearing up. And it was, okay, there we go. It's McGuire. Trying to remember that name. I know that I would have driven home and I would have been pissed driving home and going, damn, what the hell is that guy's name? How can I forget him? He was actually very entertaining on the air. I enjoyed his work, actually, Paul McGuire as a color guy. The only time I hated Paul McGuire was when the Dolphins and the Bills were playing and that sumbitch is doing the national game. Because then I knew that, you know, it was always going to sway more towards the Bills than anything else. And in those days, the Bills were better. So it was a bigger pain in the butt to have to deal with that, too, on top of everything. But Paul McGuire would always lean to the Bills, dude. Always. Big O, did you know that the Finns running back Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's real name is Sherman Shaw? Yes, sir. I covered those teams. I covered the fact that he changed his name. Yeah, back in those days, Chris, I forgot now his last name, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. His name Chris, I want to say Johnson, but it wasn't Johnson, right? The LSU kid. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. What was his real name? Something, Chris something, I want to say. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Rauf is Raouf or F, something like that. But it'll come out. Once you put that, the Google will figure it out and go, oh, yeah, you're talking about Chris something. Chris Jackson. Thank you, Troy. Chris Jackson. You are on top of it, Troy. Nice job by you, sir. Huh? Yep. Yeah, back in those days, we had a couple of people do that in those days. I have the same problems getting old. Tough to remember these damn names. Well, Thomas, man, when you're doing a radio show and you got to remember everything, you know what I mean? It's not easy, dude. It's just not easy to remember all the little things. And especially when we're talking about something like 25, 30 years ago already. That's that's how long that thing was. That was like 25 years ago already. It's a quarter century ago, right? What year was that? I was before the turn of the century. I'm pretty sure of it that was in the 90s. Yeah, that was in the 90s. I'm pretty sure that the whole Joe Namath thing was in the 90s. Because Chad Pennington we had in, what was it, 08, right? Right? Was that year, the year 08 with the whole Wildcat crap? So I want to say, and he was with the Jets prior. So it could have been, you know what? It could have been very early 2000s. Now that I think about it, very early 2000s. Like, because it was at the beginning of Pennington's career. So it had to have been late 90s or maybe early 2000, like 2000, 2001 or something. No more than that. Ralph, one guy says it's Rauf. Thank you, Herman. 2003? Wow. November 20th, 2003. A little later than I even thought. Jets and Patriots. It's crazy. Big O, the season turnaround. If we win on the road versus the Bills 10-31, we're flipping the page. Yeah, you are correct. But you know what, dude? Let's watch them beat the Jags and the Falcons first. Okay? Before we get ahead of ourselves and start thinking that they can hang with what could be arguably the best team in the NFL, okay, because they're right up there with the Rams and the Bucks. The Bills are right there. They're better than everybody else in the AFC already. They're better than KC. Okay? That's for sure. KC is not in the Bills' class. It's weird to say that, but they're not. Bills are way better than KC. And they proved that the other night. They punched them in the mouth and dominated them. You know, I would love to get on the blind ass fan wagon with you and talk about beating the Bills. But right now, I want to beat the Jags, and I want to see them beat the Falcons. And then we'll see where we're at after those two games if we feel they can be competitive against the Bills. That's what I need first and foremost. The Miami Miracle is one of the few highlights being a Dolphins fan, and I missed it because I turned it off and was sitting on the toilet. Yeah, that's probably not a good thing, Brad, to be on the toilet. Well, but let me ask you something. Don't you have a phone? Don't you have an iPad? Am I the only one that will take a TV with me to the throne? Like, if I don't want to miss it, I grab one of my iPads and put it on. I'm just saying, dude. You read newspapers in the bathroom, right? What the hell's the difference if you put it on the iPad and put it up there? You got a holder and everything. You know what I do? I put it on the towel thing, on the towel rack. And since the towel's on the rack, if you put the iPad only on the rack, it might slip a little bit. But the key is the towel gives it grip. So you put it there on the towel holder, and then I'm watching television while I'm sitting on the throne. And then I just become, it becomes an office, because then I've got the TV going, then I whip out the phone, and I'm on the phone watching the TV while I'm on the throne. So, sir, how did you allow yourself to miss the Miami Miracle when there are creative ways to stay in tune? What is wrong with you? Oh, man. I love it. You guys are a trip. By the way, I'll give my picks tomorrow in the NFL. Normally I do it today, but I figured Sean and I are doing 7 days a week this week. Since we're going to be tomorrow, we're going to be at Caneswear starting at 11 a.m. Okay, we'll be out there at 11 a.m. and we'll do a couple of hours and have some fun. So we appreciate all of you out there as always. We remember, folks, if you're looking for a new vehicle or a certified pre-owned vehicle, please come on out here to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. It is the finest dealership in the business. They've been with us for over 11 years. Tell them that Big O sent you. Very important if you come to buy or lease a vehicle. The selection is awesome. You might go to some dealerships and then you're stuck and you love the car, but they're only giving you two different cars to pick from, two colors. Well, you want a selection, you want a large selection, come on out to Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. They will give you a large selection. They will give you great service, and you will get an awesome deal. You'll be happy, and you'll be thanking me for it. So come on out and see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the amazing people out here. And if you own an Acura or lease an Acura, don't forget to come on out here to the service center, man. Guys like Jordan Ferber, they really know how to get it done. They will take care of you. So please come on out to 15601 Pines Boulevard and tell them that Big O sent you. We thank Omar Kelly, Michelle Kaufman, and Manny Navarro for joining us here on the program. We will see you guys tomorrow, actually. So we're back tomorrow at 11 a.m. live from Caneswear in Davie, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. And thanks to Sean Stanley, as always, putting it all together. The real talent on this show is Sean Stanley. We will see you tomorrow, same time, well, different time, 11 a.m. Same place, same bat channel. Be good out there.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7